escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible in justice delivery. These violations include the committee's refusal, in breach of the rules of natural justice, to recognize my lawyer on the first day of proceedings, simply because I was not personally present with him. And they went ahead to make arrangements for the hearing without involving my lawyer while he was sitting in front of them. The committee has also failed to indicate the specific charges that I'm supposed to be defending myself against in order to allow me to adequately prepare a defense to the charges. The committee has gone on to permit two of the petitioners, Mr. Daniel Ofori and Shining Stars, not to testify at all, or present what case they brought to them at the hearing. The committee has refused to allow me to go into the hearing with any family member. Before you enter, there's a thorough search of my body and my handbag in violation of protocols and courtesies extended to any Chief Justice, which protocols and courtesies are honored in the name of the nation, both in Ghana and outside of Ghana. And then the work of the committee is being conducted in a cordoned high security zone on Castle Drive, Osu, when all Article 146 proceedings since 1993 have been held in facilities of the judicial service. It is hard not to reach the conclusion that the choice of venue against the backdrop of secrecy of proceedings is intended to intimidate me and to prevent any citizen of Ghana from knowing how the proceedings are being conducted. The Edu Lodge facility that the hearings are being conducted in featured very prominently in the planning of the murder of judges on June 30th, 1981. And this can be read about in the special investigative report on that terrible event in our nation's history. It will be recalled that there was a Major Samakwa, a military officer who was killed with the 3 High Court justices, who was the Director of Human Resource of GIHOC. He was my uncle and my guardian in September 1980. I was also living with him at the time he was abducted and murdered. Was Edu Lodge chosen for my inquiry to make me feel insecure? I think so. And I continue to hold the view that there's no reason why a judicial hearing is being conducted behind the high walls of Edu Lodge. At this Article 146 hearing, no rules provided by law to regulate the fairness of hearings and trials in this country are being followed. As we all know, when a citizen is summoned before a court or any administrative or disciplinary committee, it is the duty of the committee or court to give the citizen a copy of the complaint that they are presiding over. You cannot be summoned without a writ, a petition, or a complaint. It is also the duty of that committee or court or tribunal to give copies of all documents that have been filed with them before the hearing is started. How does anyone defend themselves without a copy of the complaint that they have been summoned to come and answer to? This Article 146 committee has refused to give me copies of the petitions that His Excellency the President gave to them. They refused to give me copies a copy of the prima facie determination that His Excellency the President is supposed to have given to them. They claim that they know that the President sent me copies on 27th March of the petition on 27th March 2025. And so they do not need to show me what the President gave to them. They also claim to have copies of the responses that I gave to the President, but they will not provide the petitioners with copies of my responses. The difficulty with this is, because they are the independent body charged with the duty to conduct the hearing, what I have in my hand from the President could be different from what they have. And I cannot assume that the two copies are the same. Indeed, no tribunal does that. No tribunal will tell you that before you came here, we know that your landlord wrote to you, so we are looking into what your landlord wrote to you about, and so that is what we will be inquiring into. They will give you what the charges are that they are supposed to be inquiring into. Second, the petition itself has not been admitted into evidence and subjected to cross-examination by me or my lawyers. In this case, because they have permitted the petitioner who has so far given evidence of whose petition we are supposed to be dealing with, Mr. Daniel Ofori, they have permitted him not to testify and confirm on oath what his petition is. There is no petition on the table. There is no evidence given by him on oath. He has not authorized anyone to testify on his behalf. So what are we inquiring into? Even though there is no constitutional instrument passed to regulate the proceedings of an Article 146 committee, Ghana has a constitutional instrument regulating the work of all commissions or committees of inquiry. This is the Commissions of Inquiry Practice and Procedure Rules 2010, CI 65. And in Article 1467 of our Constitution, if a committee is set up for the removal of a Chief Justice, the committee is supposed to, quote-unquote, inquire into the petition, the answer, and the prima facie case. Therefore, we are dealing with a committee of inquiry. In spite of this, on 15th May, the committee decided, without listening to my lawyer, that it will conduct the hearing not as an inquiry, but as litigation. So they rejected the use of CI 65, which was created for the regulation of inquiries, and said they will use the High Court Civil Procedure Rules, CI 47. Then they decided that each petitioner can conduct his case as he sees fit. So they don't need to present the petition to them.
EpaHoaDaben.
Gavi is seeking to spend $9 billion over the next 5 years from 2026 to 2030. And that is to immunize 500 million children across the world. These children's life will be safe to grow up to become the scientists, engineers, nurses, teachers, and doctors of tomorrow. This morning while I was lying in bed, I did the research. And I realized that one B-2 Spirit bomber that dropped bombs on Iran recently cost $2.13 billion. If you work the math, what Gavi is seeking is the value of 4 of those B-2 bombers. Surely the world can afford the value of 4 B-2 bombers to save 500 million children. It's a choice we have to make. It's a choice we have to make between taking lives and saving lives. And I'm sure that we will save lives instead of taking lives. And so, on behalf of the children of Ghana, I say thank you to Gavi. I say thank you to all who have pledged today. Thank you very much. God bless you.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe. EpaHoaDaben.
EpaHoaDaben.
Say it again.
EpaHoaDaben.
Daben.
Now together, EpaHoaDaben.
Awesome.
EpaHoaDaben.
EpaHoaDaben.
Say it again.
EpaHoaDaben.
Daben.
Now together, EpaHoaDaben.
Awesome. Osompani nimya Omeyi bitumpong na yema ibenya oto Onso ye ofa Omainga na beyeye Omeyi bitumpona Efri Ene we nso obo ade nyankropon ne obo wo bo me wonye mfomso enti wonye mfomso bia wo me ne wo ho na dom ne nada roma ene yetenkwam ahoden moja edi afru sane yakoba emu oden so yakoba emu oden enso ya wapomuden obotom nye nanso ho oden uti nye oya umbubungu ho yade bi nka wonto ho eye nhyira mapa eno de adom wo ena wie moma yakra ne yakoma eni ahurusie ewo ne dinimu isane se eye na adom mu ena me ne omienu ti ase ne ekɔ ne ba eya da bia me ka kire say we play no role in being alive because time pote kura wo da ye no wu nim nanso o da no na wa rehyiemu se ade ebechew you were only hoping and you will be decision say nipa no wono ahwama adepa che wo no onye nipa te se me no mienu nanso wabɔ me ne wo mmienu te sɛ ɔno. That is the uniqueness of God. Odwene ho saa. Wabɔ me ne wo mmienu te sɛ ɔno nanso ɔnte sɛ yɛn. Oni honam we bi. Adwene ɛda wo tirimu na nyɛ no bi na ɛda ne tirimu. Enso ɔhwɛ wo so omumuyɔ ene wo bɔne ene wo mmerɛ ɔyɛ mu nyina da. Ɛna no ade bi akɔyɛ. Enso ade akye wa sɔre waka o. Na kyerɛ sɛ ɔma the opportunity to do it well the next time. Ɔma a second chance. And every day we get that second chance from God to be alive again. And then o second chance na wo no. What they doing? Being alive today, eswa banfaswa ma wo anyone mu eben wo ana. Being alive today, eswa banfaswa ama o man ana. And a contribution ben wa ye obi abrabom. Impact ben na wa ye. Edian na wa ye to advance the cause of enipa ye ti asase so. Wo chefa wo mu. Na o man Ghana no so de na wa ye ede boa se be kra be hwe. Bidine Bismark Brown no betimi afrɛ me BB. Enra me hye unkran. Nipa bebre na afrɛ me se nkran hye sɛm no na ɛka wo makoma pa. Jumama na de na osiri hwe manim sɛ ye. Open nkran hye on. Obotomu nye. Jumama botomu nye nti open nkran hye. Also, yeah, Wofa, you have a message for me. When someone saw a fair, I will use Sika. Oh, Minimpa. Free. And I'm Kona Menam, Mene, my pump for me team, and a Kabumu, I did you medie a brewer, Renaud Yao Ajiman, aka the Mask. Ehe amajumedino bibia atotomo enwachi Joel Sanko enso eka team no ho ayehwe ama niema ya hyehye ene nkoma hodo ayebedi ene nyina no ni nyina nso so atotom jimaima enso etamu dendendene penimfo eni ombekasa nyina da telephone tua na so awoko be nie ono so ebo na dwuma dendenden. Quite apart from that ye de ani kire eye the digital side nso dia na eye Oba Joyce enso ginemu a wobo 5 ama digital team no ensuring say we are streaming live on Facebook. So we're here to serve you, and I know say you will enjoy every bit of our service and area. And komo ben na ye di on this day.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Suspended Chief Justice Stokonu said resigning or retiring is not an option. Enra, Chief Justice yabona sensen. Ane yankane sa yabona sen ohun Pentecost for yabona sen. Ya sorry no ko yanka yabona sen. Ya suspended no. And ye nyina ye nim asem we nyina abakosem. Na it's been back and forth. Me can back and forth and me patchre processes ahodo a constitution no and article 146. Actually say yebeyi obi ti say Chief Justice free ne office and na yebeyi a member of the Supreme Court nso a article 146 actually near was aban ne ye in achieving that end. Enti yanena mu back and forth and aban na maintain say near waye bia ye emra no trudo a conforming to emra no wono mu so omoni aban ne nya adwene ekira na chese constitution no mampani abuso omo kan kra kaka ho se we no kra no eyetrimuka amanfo abopɔ se maame ne yebeyi no maame nan kasa nso kɔ Supreme Court challenge a number of things including all catch Supreme Court to say oma kwan na in camera hearing no anka obewe bi ne rights nanka ya ye ne bedwam no obi ehunu Supreme Court eto sa asem no eto baabi oka say 2 justices of the Supreme Court are omo serve on the committee no yenyom sinchen esane previous comments statements any engagements bi a akoso Supreme Court ampe embua na o maame no suffer such a defeat before the Supreme Court no na e was say near committee no esinani odi esinani so obeye no e was say eba so. The committee has been working, but midway ena enra the suspended Chief Justice free press conference ni oman ne kasae or the nsem ahodo ena atudwa asem ba ko nso a waka ne se babia ye toto na no dan na ye toto na no wo mu no edu lodge no babia kai no ne yawo kese pa isane se ose wo ko Ghana bakose mu a babia ye toto na no babia PNDC aban no emu nkrofo bi ekotena ase ebo opo hyehyeye eku ajaje form yensa ene baako a ono na wonye judge na baako no ka ho na onye judge no enra Chief Justice mi ete ase se ne wofa nimpompa na sabre no kra no wote ne nchen ko suku enti wono de no nsusu yemu no bu apayo pa na aban no atwusu sa venue no babia omobo opo ede ku judges no omode na asem na kwose enkodi wo ho se ebe ya ebebo ne hu ebehunahuna no na chese omatimi adi ne so enkunim wode we aka ne nsem bebre a waka ho enra so she took time to go through each of the petitions 3 petitioners no ede akọ wa raise questions akaste integrity doubts on all of these can I say petitions akwakoto mampani animu eno na wono ejina so ede eyi no ede free office wa kan sem bebre afa some of the petitioners who and so okasa about some of the judges womo serve on the committee ewe yebedi sansem hu nkomo ne abusa se is the suspended Chief Justice talking to the nation because of feeling helpless na of feeling helpless no be kan sem egu mu a kwan be no be fa so nya help no. Do we have the power as citizens to save her when a constitutionally mandated process has kick-started and is ongoing? Ediana Ghana for betimi aye no with this press conference. Ayama no with this press conference. Ana ode ka to aban no so na aban no ehunu na nka wasesa na adwene ana. To what end? Ena sa press conference we seek to achieve. Ebi aka say she's probably courting a public sympathy. Se kobasi ebeyi na watimi anya the opportunity deda akire ni nsemu ede akire oman Ghana for. Enran so asem esi man mu ha efa amanyosem ho na eno so kansem a yebedi eho enkomoyi.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Former President John Ejekunkufo enra shia ono ankasa ne party for emra womo epa eye dwumade bi huntuma na omusuku a womo de aba MPP for school a womo so omasie eno no womo de ba betete party for na party for no ehunu party no ne senti ayete ene party no nani so ade hunu womo bitimi ehunu party no na ne wogina party ne principles, party no ideals, party no ni nyina so ankasa pa na saa dwumadie na se no ena papa Kufuor ojebre ene okasa kire ne party otwi omanimu pa wose kire ne se kansam no de kire wo mo se de wo so woka na asam no pompon so kase ene religious and tribal bigotry ose ekoso ewo de party ni mu se wo mo pese wo mo ba bedi Ghana so bie mu di asade no mo hwe no mu nyae wasan so aka se MPP party no enye party asamre bebia party ne duo ehia sikafo enye sikafo ne hia na momo no party ne ehia wono mu a omudimu wono mu a omo integrity wono mu a amanfo wo mu gidie wono mu a yebetimi asan wo muti akasa weni mu de wo mu se fatase de oman ehye wo mu ensa na ekoye sika party ne beton ne daache ene ehonsem edapono so a ene wie nso yehwe. And of course the ongoing conversation about electricity tariffs are across through by 2.45%. Fortunately anka eye insuo and we'll try and find a justification for sa increment in the face of very positive economic indicators. Me no say inflation aba from edu 18% plus. Yet PURC say womo eto eye electricity tariff mu by 2.45% because almost projected inflation to hit 20.67%. Your projected inflation figure would be to a tariffs no any current inflation figure ebra into justification way. You also talk about dollar, any CD, the exchange rate. PRC for actually say exchange rate ni ka ho bi na wono ato eye tariffs nim. Ba me no mienu nyina be dia dance say Ghana for kra ka say yentete ne ma so pure nyina mra from because ene CD na nya hoden. Ya na yatete fuel so ebi ton mo de 10 cedis a liter, ebi ton mo de 11 cedis a liter. Yatete fuel so na eba de sen na electricity tariffs yente so na momu no yato so na ye to so a PURC asmo omo ka and one of the reasons so mudi gina so and say exchange rate, but the exchange rate is looking good enti eba ne sen na ema tariffs no ekosoro ewe ye di nkomo ne abonkomo afa sansin. We'll talk to experts who understand these matters. No ma boyen ama yetime ate ensem no ase ema remfi say in spite of the tariff hike GRA fonso in fact they have imposed 15% VAT on non-life insurance. Now, and then so we would ask the experts, say, sir, 15% VAT, insurance on households, insurance on individuals, anything, and non-life insurance, and then we be na yabosa and komoy enyinada. So you want to stay with us, you want to join us, you want to be here because this is the place to be. 98.9 FM EpaHoaDaben jumedie enie. Enche yebetiesi eye social media no so na yebusa se den na airco. Nti no send ye no Joel Eshen will be joining us. Jemima Mohena Yenshe no ase. Joel Eshen will be joining us with den na airco on social media, and we are catching up with events domestically. Any samuso a ekoso ewo amanone a efa governance ho, efa politics ho, international relations nim sembebre ye de nyina ebebro as you join us live on Facebook. Kai so say over Facebook nso ana wo de wano atonkomo no mu bi kire wadwene ewo enkoma hodo a media to wanimu a ye ba bedie enyinada eho. Joyce, my link in flow, Joyce, my flow na manfo busa. Unse ade no hot, abadwom, manfo busa nti man flow na yencheche na send na manfo nso enhye na hye nipa no enko animu a. Nti ba Facebook live a na wo de onsem na to ho, wa kire wadwene na makenkan ni nyina da ede amao. Now, okọ emrahye bedwafia. There has been a development. Na development akoso wo mrahye bedwafie no efa holidays ho Ghana for the so nim see for a holiday ni agro ye ni je holiday ho pa ene nkanka se holiday no akoto fiada it's a long weekend aban no ede bill bia komrahye bedwafie se omo amende Public Holidays and Commemoration Act. Na that is seeking say ebesesa yen holidays ayewo ebe yibi afri ho ampa ede ba ku bi nso abeka ho ene muslim fo nya one more holiday aka ho a me boss holiday ni din ede a kire na ma kire ne nti a aban no susu se yenuanom muslim fo ewo se wo munya sa holiday no sa holiday we will come after Eid ul Fitr, and we'll get into ho details nyina se sia no ne edapono so ne se 4th August holiday bi na MPP amanyoko de baaye no aban ayi e de afri ho yetwam 4th August holiday no yetwam say 21st September year Osagefo birthday aye public holiday, and it has been a public holiday all this one then your holiday on 20 Memorial Day exactly aban aye no a holiday 21st September holiday 4th August ye free ho 1st July MPP bae omoye no commemorative entina enye holiday da Ghana day no homa pa da Ghana beye a sovereign nation yankasa no saade no under President Akufo-Addo yetwamu ye frey en saying Republic of Ghana yenso Republic Day aban bi ba betwamu edi free ho aban aba be restore 1st July ye ba be dino as a holiday this time around omo the national prayers and thanksgiving and so abata eho eno achi amendment na omode akọ ne se holiday bi bana ebeto eye na wotwe ni mu a te se holiday no to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday a omo asakra mranani ama mampani ni interior minister no tumi se holiday no to ebenada ukuada yawada ye manu tumi a obetimi a movie holiday no to ifiada anase edwoada enti eno enso eye ensakra foforo aba enti se holiday bi ba na ye ukuada ye ndi holiday ni ukuada na ema adwuma Thursday tumi no aban no anya tumi se sa holiday na anka osi edi ni ukuada no ono betwusu se ye fa nkɔhye fiada na che se weekend ne nhya ase ana ye fa nkɔhye dwoada udi weekend ni wi anu agye Monday nso de aka ho wei enso ye nsakrae ni bi a aba eye holiday celebrations no emu na in all no there were 14 holidays in a year said the amendment no kire no na say holiday no efole memeneda ana kwasiada adwoada ana efiada no ebeye automatically also a holiday. This new bill also introduces a new public holiday for the Muslim community known as Shak Day. Shak Day. SHAKQ. Abayni se ebeboa se yenuanu Muslimin fodi Idul Fitr wi a omubenya sa eda ba kwidi aka ho na omodia reflect on the celebrations of Eid. Enti na manfo busa update no eno no. Woni abayni ya adwen with sa amendments ya wire to yen holiday, public holidays and commemorative act na woni abayni ya adwene ewo ho eto sembra Facebook na be kire wadwene ewo sa changes ya aba ye holiday structure no emu na over Facebook no na me kai say stick to the conversation, let's stick to the topic na yenya yemman kobo no enko animu enche me hiti Facebook na wo initial messages na dia ba no yedibi agumu na yamamanfo nso etimi ate wano edusem mame emma a special person, a special holiday, a Mrs. Special Holiday, Macan Holidays, a special birthday, and every she's a colleague, a Happy FM ha, our PR department, a very affable lady, very hardworking lady. She's a sister to all of us, a baby to some, and a younger sister to a lot more. And wawoda, happy birthday to you, Miriam Akwete. Miriam Akwete. And wawoda, happy birthday to Miriam Akwete. Enjoy your birthday. But who said no one shifita? And then so what's the sound hairstyle no? But my sense so another notice being so baby said nipa ya odi ni birthday ya so ya missing. And yeah, mu pacho misremu birthday no ayira. And yeah, wakotwe aprodo. Birthday pa no ayira de ne no akɔhye baby. Wakɔhye baby. Hey, Mimi, Uyo Humbi. Happy birthday, my dear. Enjoy your day today. And, but more than say, what they said, they should be reflective on Sadia, no, ha. Na, swabam for so kese, de ama yinada. We are working the phone lines and everywhere to see, say, Betimini Ghana Health Services, so akasa. Because University of Ghana, the criteria be to just say, omo enhu COVID-19 cases be. Ewo ho omo encourage the university community say omo share mask ne ade omo and resort to COVID-19 protocols no, but we haven't heard from the Ghana Health Service on this matter as to the confirmation of COVID ewo Ghana and how bad it is. Cases are hino mahunu ye quarantine na yeah, contact tracing, and I remember these words, pal. Contact tracing. Radinya kupon. Debi beba, yebeka yasem. Na said the atiano, we are working the lines benya Ghana Health Service for na yenyomo edi enkomo na ya jinchirichirimu ni pamanfo yam hwehwe ama ene kra no parents ni bia wo ma wo University of Ghana enya yempo anka omo bema nkwada na befie. We'll find out from the Ghana Health Service when we get the opportunity. But let me read your initial messages about on Facebook. If you happen, let me tell you, a day our social media. Theophilus Adi, I join you on Facebook area and say, so it means Muntaka being a Muslim wants to cut Christians' holidays while he increases Muslim holidays. Oh yeah, sure. I check the number of holidays that Christopher forward here. Okay, so no, but please don't use this and whip religious sentiment into anything. Raise the issues. There is nothing about Christians and Muslims in this matter. Yeah, you di Easter, me boy. Easter ni how many days? Easter Good Friday, Easter Monday. You two bronya you be 3. New Year near new obi anso asan di abom. We dey. O say I don't know kind. Munya mframa na muhuhu ho na ha na action wo me na mo platform no mutase. Aha. O see who said tria up to now you nipa no. So no kura platform no. Na ente no we nye a Christopher against Muslims bia munya ne mo ye no na munya ne mo keka no. Comensa pillar 2 I join ewo from Dom Kwabenya or say Justice Tokonu is right. New president, new chief justice can never help our democracy. Anyway, regards to Honorable Thomas Oheneba Boache. Michael Blagaji said, Bibi, good afternoon. What is going on with regards to Kenuforia's test case? Oh, now no say, Mechira will say, Kenuforia Tire at the statement about Bontini. Say, Ghana is home. And when Ken is well, he will come and face a special prosecutor. That is the latest if you want to know. No. But with regards to OSP, and the OSP court are appealing against the decision of the High Court judge in the case of Mukai Papa Bina no so pe MCA Diwo, Mr. Kumewu say Ashanti region. Our coach chair 5,000 OSP chair no so wakutu ya bribe no. The High Court at the dismissed case no ma papa no ho song. OSP so on 10 was into a appeals court. Aqua appeal that decision. Positive change was Madina were joining live on Facebook because the suspended CJ was given 10 clear days by President Mahama to respond to the petition brought against her. If it is true she wasn't given a copy of the charges brought against her, then what exactly did she respond to? Or the charges are different from the petition she responded to? Anyways, she can rant in public for sympathy, but the law is still the law. The law is still the law. So yeah, on one kasa so nekasa it is trending everywhere on social media. No. Noah, the ark builder, or say or the frikokomlemle no, but no say I want to use this opportunity to plead with my party, the NPP, to avoid insults. For this is an internal election. So we have to be calm so that we don't get bullets for our opponents in the year 2028. My regards to Mr. Thomas Oheneba Boache, the incoming MP UK branch organizer. Emmanuel Ham Page, so the about say, own a piece of Ghana today. Mr. Wibre, and Tonsa so why, and Kotonsa so baby abetono. Oche Richard said nothing comfortable can be achieved without struggles. That's true. I agree with you, bro. Bibia ni hono mo ansabe ka wombrim obesam wani mu fifire obebere mu jani nanso usi nkete na udi utirimu a ni si wani so no ansabe ka Paul amenosoji adwani o se bibi God's protection for you. Thanks, my brother. And Oche Richard Beam said better days ahead. I believe so, my brother. And he's watching us from New Fadama. Oche, oye taxi driver ewo Fadama. Special greetings to you. One o guys ni nyina George ena afi so Edem. Paul amenosoji say NDC is the future for Ghanaians. NPP never again. Paul, minim se message you type ya to her. There be no na deba. Be di nkomo bibre. Nte ya na wachire wadwene wada matters nso ho na yakọ yanim ewo eho. Na potassium 1 se bibi. Consistency in applying principles of fairness is crucial. When Charlotte Osei requested disclosure of the charges against her and was denied, where was the outcry? Likewise, in the Sal case, when representation was denied at the parliamentary level, where was the collective voice demanding justice? Let's uphold fairness uniformly, devoid of emotional and political influences. Potassium 1, Many thanks for your thoughts. Good afternoon, BB. My petition to the president to remove Jean Mensah is on the way. This woman denied me my right to vote in the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. I turned 18 years during the limited registration exercise. When I wanted to get registered onto the register, she moved the registration center to the EC district office only. Or say, I paid transportation fare to the district EC office 4 times, but due to large queues or long queues, you want to say, I couldn't register. In fact, my intention was to vote for Baumia, but this woman denied me my right, and because of that, Baumia had what the percentage be to her of the total votes cast. This gross misconduct by the Jean Mensah-led EC is unforgivable, and she must be removed from that higher office. My regards to Honorable Albert Tete Nyakote, MP for Yilo Krobo. Also, o message odia aba enono. We any initial messages amodi aba. You want to keep them coming? We're here to read them for you. And remember to speak to the issues da eponoso. Now, then trendy with regards to governance, politics, international diplomacy, and geopolitics. Joel Eshen is seated.
Dan Neko. A dang and echo. Dan Neko. A dang and echo. Dan Neko. A dang and echo.
Joel!
Bibi.
Bibi Mejoso.
Na musi kuro mu te sɛn.
Oh. And that
Hoa
yeah.
Daben ti
Na
sinu
a
pi
senior
na
a chrome tino over but na suspended CG.
Aha.
And then do beke jaguma a year Ghana funds with Choma.
And na man for so ba castle I resign. I know say no it is out of the question.
Se men said that mini baby ako mti mwanka mo share ni mu se nenenya. But you be kan ako US.
Yanko homra.
Na unim say a year last week Saturday.
That's right.
Wabra a US president. Oma a year omo ekoye strike now omo de call you know you be kan ho asem dada no. So the two just say a year Iran nuclear facilities just say omo say access ni nyina neno and the New York Times and CNN
He used the word they have been completely obliterated.
yes just say omo tututu na se kwa
Oma to ase kra.
eno na New York Times and CNN so yes story say that be yen intelligence aye nyan
Hoa
say
Daben.
at the Pentagon a year briefing and say US a Pentagon and a year defense a year defense ministry mo share defense headquarters John Chiefs no ko brief brief Trump no catch say oh omo e push adan ko etire month
They say bomb na US photo last weekend.
Yeah.
And say Iran for nuclear
o me
facilities.
delay no for months
They mu no ma twa san kakra.
yes
They say no ma ye damage no ma ye no will only delay them for some few months.
yes for some
Okay.
few months and on Trump say why me kasa no what the you be read Trump tweet no
Yeah.
I say why mo no be say reporters there why mo CNN any New York Times one time atwam na mo credible media way be ka say mapopo why New York Times any CNN Trump say no mo atwam kra nti wo de ye benya opinion no ne tweet na nka ye de atoso na Ghana for
Joyce yanko
enso ayeden
and a bohono.
I say fake news CNN together with the failing New York Times have teamed up in an attempt to demean one of the most successful military strikes in our history. The nuclear sites in Iran are completely destroyed. Both the Times and CNN are getting slammed by the public.
Donald Trump.
It's Donald Trump like us a wine. I say America for.
And now me who satellite images be omo pachere say eno na echere the extent of damage. Now all before and after night as if say see a cry.
Yeah.
But Trump also sent us
No.
and omo issue omo 5 images in Ray.
Trump say BB. CNN ne New York Times there
That's what we try.
no be also CNN fake news and the New York Times is no yes no relevance in you want e say
bibia ni ho nso a Trump nso be ya CNN ebe ye omo fe bibia ni ho ebe ye omo fe
it was e say CNN ni omo kasa mu dem mo no nyam me Trump
me se maye
me Trump me say omo nuclear weapon programs no masese ni nyina iti they are CNN we be ka no na ndo akwa no coordinator no side ko tu just say Putin friend no Putin friend say ojam uhia mo ana me mabo wa Iran yeah sanu kan
na Trump is okay
o se Putin friend no
how
Putin friend no say ojam uhia mo wa Iran ana me mabo wa and also catch Putin say
Putin was being sarcastic
and catch Putin say Iran dem hia mo by Ukraine dem hia mo say obeti ase na ye do na peace bi aba to so on Putin edi nkoma che say na nka Putin kura pese obeboa no Iran but catch so Iran there na say Iran there me yo by Ukraine na wo there akra mi hia mo se na be ya betumi enya de obi na ya de abe den ya masumdue aba ntia wo international scene no bibi sanet na Ghana na asem
na be na aba
bibi imagine say wuti wo ya na wonya alert 100,000 Ghana cedi
menya adwuma bia
wonya adwuma bia
ene me yam kura be hye
wonya alert 100,000 Ghana cedis
because emra na Israel for no nyame tomana no
twemu na
bibi 100,000
Ghana cedis
31 billion
wo de yam fa ne sa na me ma actual figure nda 800,000 Ghana cedis bibi inse wuti konso eti sa na pimpin 800,000 Ghana cedis so no beto na obebo
aha konya no kra bi hu ba bia me pia to
asemesi okumase
bomi mu
asemesi okumase ene say mami bi ono ye fe no Constance Jesse Nimako yaremande no by Accra High Court Accra Circuit Court aremande no for allegedly stealing and laundering money mistakenly credited to her bank account.
Omo the money laundering so kan ho.
Na story no. Na story ni Nimako, also known as Ma Ajwa, is alleged to have spent 770,500 Ghana cedis out of the 800,000 Ghana cedis that was erroneously transferred to a bank account at Ecobank.
Was spending.
What
the third day?
Now, the memo breakdown now. She reportedly transferred 300,000 Ghana cedis of the amount to her mother's account at Fidelity Bank, and 400,000 Ghana cedis to her own account at GCB Bank, and withdrew 70,500 Ghana cedis in cash. She has been charged with stealing and money laundering, while her mother, Cecilia Jesse, has been charged with abetment of crime to wit money laundering. The two pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Anyway, addition wo mu.
Yes.
Addition wo mu wo ho na sika bi beto wa account mu a wonim se wo nhwe sika bi anim. Onya adwuma bia obi anka so transfer sika de abrɛw. Na sika bi aba beto wa account mu a empre wo hu nkodi sika no. Because wa wonim pefe se wonya adwuma bia sika na nya ode a. Wonya don saka sika na stealing. Na ohwe case we a ni enti omode laundering money laundering aka ho no ene se sika no or transfer sika na around o yi sika ni bi komo ane maame ono ayi bi to ono na account mu ene o san redraw sika ni bi enti saa enema me ensen ena wo mugina so ede atwe wo mo aso e wo court ba sika no mu du
no mo se
na wonya adwuma bia na sika se abeto wo ye mo hyehyew
bank no kra frɛ ma me no bibi bank no frɛ ma me no
bank ni frɛ no
o se investigations revealed that Nimako informed her mother about the money, and her mother instructed her to withdraw 300,000 Ghana cedis transfer into her account. And I say, bank no friend no, my men can not drink from Krasamaza. Who this guy about back out?
Where ignorance and I say a akukudro bone. Ignorance because and of course say some move for now. Obi ye mistake then sika beto account mu na where you scan fast na chese wa dodge na na where ntisa o
yes ma me no
Bebo, wose ne maame no ofre ne maame go no amane no ne maame ne ka che ne so transfer
thing. If you charge maame no so
maame no ya aware say ne ba na nya sika bi a ensem fata.
Yes. In the some maame ni nim. And I say me ba asa ni miska. I'm not sure so go be charge no with that kind of charge.
Exactly. Because ono there.
Oda be
Me ba na asa ni miska.
Me ba na asa but you see o catch maame no maame say onyami na ehira o. Yes, o catch maame say onyami na ehira me ba empire mabo.
Why be bra?
Nti wo de fabitua na bank no kwa so mo friend no ka maame no onbo no me say na madwa bibi osiki keke kanaje che bank for no
sa
abefo ase for mo
we tu ahunu
no
asantika sesa ne beka we tu ahunu
apaya ma no
onam a wani na bibia so no akopie sika so we tu ahunu no bi
ntano ena ese we are trending back yamfanya adesua
papa adesua wo mpa
sika bi ebeto account mi na hu ni ho hia entempara so wo ese wo akwa na wo nan ye ntientia kwa report ma bank no
exactly
anya saade a waso ebe den
800,000 Ghana cedis
no mo tra eye company bi a omo ni CBG ye adwuma
okay
and omo instruct Ecobank so omo transfer sa sika no nkoto CEO no account mu ti nipa na or transfer am so ko message mu kromnyi
o se den
afenyo trend na da afenyo trending say teachers no omo say omo ko education
Ghana Education Service omo ko pekese
yes afenyo ko ka parliament say obiewu
oh sa mantin so
afenyo ko ka parliament say obiewu and how na do to say afenyo maken asema okay we are sure and then there enimenu ya ye pay proof
yeah
yes say na senia amanfo a ewo X any social media Twitter omudi egu eye afenyo maken so no omsi we there honorable enti wo hwe eye story no say these are despicable lies. Education Minister Haruna Idris dares afenyo marking or anyone to produce proof of death during the protest at GS premises.
Asemwaba.
Into who content
so the allegation was made on the floor of Parliament.
On the floor of Parliament.
And they say a big issue. They must get to the bottom of it.
Into who content afenyo marking air trending.
Into education minister demand evidence.
Yes. Education minister say, sir, and yes, sir, dear name, mo for evidence, mra. Na you so osimusia no benten, no kan crofo no ho, and wakoye dem, wa wahwe ne kra. Nti eno so.
And yeah, almost share evidence for that in me. Buso almost said that be na parliament, kire ye mrahye bedwani na okoka daughter of a medrano. That be na mrahye bedwafo. A member of parliament or Kasegu microphone mu Efred Dr. Zenato Rollins, daughter of a medra. When in a parliament, a say any panus we pay. We want to know.
Bibi,
go ahead.
Sasabno de omo ano omo around you know obi anim obi.
It tells you one thing about your MPs.
Obi anim do kan. Nti ase Ghana for you omo ni nti. Sasam do say bibi yeti yewo happy FM obi timeti no kasa agi say bia nipa ko no join company ne nchaye se me nipa na atena afi ba konkwa de obi kasa man tani meti kwa mi so we de ebe max ana jo sanko ana we de bibi ne kan ana we de obi ba omunim nti omno ma de omma de
no it tells you one thing about our MPs.
Yes.
Say efa wo mo ho a
dabi
no kura ne fa wo mo ho a wo mo nka
because we both side you know obi ayedi
omu nyina ayedi and I'm surprised omu nyina ayedi enti nano na mebusa se enti NDC MPs na wo parliament no omu so person omu kire se omu nyina te dem ho no omu anhunu nipa kro kan sa asem na na
omu ntumi nka asem we nche because omu nim se anadwuma na asem de ye njidi
enti sa ne ma we koso a enti parliament fo betimi akotwe obi ogina bonten a wabu omanimtia so onko privileges committee ana
enye na adano eye madam Hardcastle katre eye ba ko se silly boy ya na nugogo abai
otwene oso de ko privileges committee ni ade na wo yes ane ma we ya pedinfo te se mo te parliament we de mo sa bobo tables na wabie mic ka a daughter of a medra na mo pedinfo a mo nyina mo te wo sa no kura ketwa we mu ntimi nka Na nokura we mu ntimi nka nokura be na mbetimi aka kire Ghana
ebie ni wobi now bibi me di wie no na me sorry so no
sharp
bibi
minia
the law is the law bibi so because the law is the law because I said me nima de kono me content so
yeah
ube hu na we na kam the law is the law the law is the law the law is the me bisa me kwa me bisa Max say oh the law is the law and any day no so the oba be betro mo it bibi the law is the law no any day because me who say e trend pa
and the law is the law ni obezo hu
because enu na be ma asem no metumi acham because me who always oh the law is the law the law is the law at the new term be about Ghana ha na me de me so me kokoma the law is the law the bibi.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
EpaHoaDaben.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
EpaHoaDaben.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
And we are the voice of the suspended Chief Justice.
Oh, Bibi afena Matias here.
Auntie,
I'm not press conference it na man focus the law.
law is the
Oh,
law.
I come in to man pa.
And the law is the law we or can emribi na judgments emkoye emma NDC for.
Maybe I come the law is the law. The law is the law. Anything. And Chief Justice. Oh, okay.
Or say fa hu ni deda obeye.
Nti Ghana for say the law is the law. Now the law is the law no. Happy FM so.
Baby.
Na say the law is the law na Chief Justice obi bu kata. Ye bu koma. Na say ne kai Chief da uni mimra no. Ana sisi ano the law is the media. Eno na man for bisa o.
The law.
Nti Mr. Wood shamu abonte enye we trends nti we madwin trend ka ho.
Sir, there be wadwin.
Am for say says the law is the media and I said the law is still the law because if the law is still the law Chief Justice ya tawachi on Supreme Court.
Wako hoda.
Amfa. I'm so on Sanko because wama Ghana for nyina ya well say obi ya wade na nya the law is the law.
And the law is the law no se bi o social media so ka say if the law is the law and na near article 146 aka akoso nyina is the law. Nti ensesa man for to complaints bia e wa chire because the law is the law. Article 146 is the law. Nti no say ene obi tie chire esu a omo kai ne say emri bi o kan say the law is the law.
And a man for kanu. Now when you say General Mosquito. The national chairman of the NDC. Na Endra suspended Chief Justice. Gertrude Isaba Tokonu. Ekasa no say o complain say edu lodge na ya de wo in the early 80s. 3 judges na yeku omo ebesi na ye hu omo ku omo no. Na baako ne anka one mentor one ne ye dem one nete. Nti ho no side no no omo ye dem no omo te. Nti edu lodge na members of the committee of inquiry ede ade na call no kwa say omo so modi edu lodge no intimidating eno na General Mosquito so ye mbisa no say aden okọ edu lodge no obi atocha ne wo ho ana ebianka Chief Justice nka me ko ye miame kon ye miame me so kwa ye mame ebia obi di second asegem e de ahye General Mosquito so asama ye de ye mbisa no but and then una ma bonte a akola keto kwa wi shana bibi say the law is the law. Is there no any
matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
Now all kinds no sri.
Oh yes. No sri.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
But are noises being made now?
Bibi. And
Are noises being made now?
No, say ebi mo ka but yeah, send the idea no 10 years.
Joel Eshen,
Bibi,
meda wase,
yeah, fancy wa ha.
ene trends a wode abrɛyɛn.
Dan na ɛkɔ. Ɛdan na ɛkɔ.
Wehunu near airco. Join us live on Facebook with your reactions. Wadwin kyerɛ wɔ saa nsɛm nyinaa ho ɛte sɛn. Oba no na okae sɛ ode ɛyɛ wasɛm no bɛkɔ straight to the point na yɛagye berɛ ne akenkan ɛde ama wɔ. Na sɛdeɛ nkɔmmɔ no ɛkɔ no emu ayɛ de emu ayɛ hwam. Na Brajo Arthur said, good afternoon, Mr. BB. It's been a long time. I thank God for your life. And Sibebre. Austin Kweku Intumi said, so the suspended CJ doesn't trust her own Supreme Court judges. Where does she want? What does she want now? And on any other buyer. Now Kweku Ampa said, good afternoon, Mr. BB. Boss, you are really doing a good job. May I say the suspended Chief Justice shouldn't have done the press conference yesterday. She's acting like the politicians. And I urge her to contest for MPP Women Organizer. No amount of noise will distract the NDC government. The law is the law. My regards to Honorable Eko Kweno, a member of parliament for Ekumfi. Theophilus Adi said the price Ghanaians paid for voting for... Theophilus, me say, I think, sir, you are bent on this religious bigotry, but I won't fan it for you. I won't repeat your messages. What the bimba mankind. And guys, please, Theophilus, added the 2 messages biaba. I want you to delete it from the comments list. Why? It is not a someone me pese etna ho na man for be kind. Munyi ni nyina free ho no mama Mr. Mo bebre. No. For messages brand na men kan fama as you join us with your thoughts and comments. But there is a shake-up going on with Ghana Gas.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pɛ.
Shake-up will be a koso ewo Ghana Gas. Me know what I say. About 7 executive management members ewo Ghana Gas. They have all been reassigned to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Na yɛka executive management members a na enye management members totofe wafo. Some management members see management members are the past 8 years. Ebinum krakɔ beyond the past 8 years. They've been at Ghana Gas for some time. Omaye adwuma no ebinum adwuma omaye e transcend governments. Governments, I mean, abaya hodo aba. And I mean, what I say, with the new administration, Abba Ghana Gas, 7 executive management members, free Ghana Gas. We are told, sir, the energy minister, and I catch Ghana Gas for say, omunyi executive management members in free ho. Na yen reassigning womu to the energy ministry. Na in their stead, womu junior officers momu ena chiri as caretaker for. Na caretakers na womu chiri ni bienu. Ba kunsu womu a ono de no ye adwuma Ghana Gas. Tiemi ye pa. Ono no ye adwuma Ghana Gas. Wako retirement. Ghana Gas ema no 1 year contract. Contract no ewu. Oda so ti adwuma mu ho no mo ama ne ono ye general manager ondu retirement age. Ya yi na free ho said the name co-ministry. Ena ne wako retirement a wire contract awi ama na wuo no. Ono ne de na kosi na 9 se onhwe achire. Na mibusa se. And we have sent letters to Ghana Gas asking a number of questions. We have a number of documents yedi hujuma. Enema bebre akoso Ghana Gas previously enya ban we mreso. There are issues with procurement. There is an audit report that abobom penimfuo bi din omu ye adwuma Ghana Gas besi nei asotwe a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛde ma wɔn according to yɛn Public Procurement Act yɛn twi wɔ bi aso nkɔfo de bia yɛabɔ wɔn din ɛwɔ audit report ni mu ɛda so wɔ Ghana Gas ɛnɛ as senior management members. Yɛasan wɔ nyinaa ho ama ɛnɛ yɛyi a whopping number of executive management members. Yɛyi wɔn nyinaa firi Ghana Gas ɛde ɔma co-ministry. As I speak to you, I think sir, either on the 15th of June or so, Ghana Gas advert bi wɔ newspapers mu sɛ ɔmo ɛpɛ nkurɔfoɔ bi ne ɔmo ayɛ adwuma. Saa 7 general managers la yɛyi wɔn de ɔmo kɔ ministry no ɔmo positions ɛna Ghana Gas advertise sɛ ɔmo pɛ nkurɔfoɔ foforɔ ma ɔmo aba abɛyɛ saa adwuma no. Na wie mi busa sɛ ɛde asɛm na asi wɔ Ghana Gas nti a 7 executive management members ɔmo nyinaa yɛyi wɔn afiri hɔ nom so ɔmo nkɔ ministry na yɛkɔ akɔhwehwɛ nkurɔfoɔ foforɔ ama ɔmo aba abɛyɛ adwuma no. Is it the case that 7 executive management members omo ye incompetent ana? Is it the case that 7 executive management members omo a compromise womo ho in terms of corruption kwan bi so ana? Is it the case that 7 executive management members womo entimi mmoa Ghana Gas emma Ghana Gas function enrane said ye was eya na edi enti ena Dr. John Jenapo a direct Ghana Gas say all the 7 executive management members yenyi omu free wona yen reassign omu to the ministry na yenya advert emfa nkrofo foforo. Na mibusa se wono mu a ehwe chire ama saa 7 executive members here yeyi womo no omo bobre ni sen within the organogram of Ghana Gas se general manager ni wa hwana ne si na 9 eye retiree obi a wakọ retirement na wadi ni retirement awie na yama no 1 year contract na wuo ono ene sefata se oya caretaker manager na ade ni penny Ghana Gas eni penny Ghana Gas ho na se obi akọ retirement na wa ma no 1 year contract na wa ya awie na contract na wu na unya replacement can't you call on the ministry to give you somebody, assign somebody to hold the fort? Adenti na nipa na ono watina jumani mu from the beginning of Ghana Gas. What by retirement? Mama no 1 year contract ewuo ono na musa ka kire ne se general manager wo ho amuyi no ono won san hwe na kire. Minti ase. Nipa san Ghana ha na. Are there no qualified people ewo the Ministry of Energy say yensi yenya obi emane mehwe akire a ye betimi a second obi from eye ministry na nkwa ba ba adwuma na na are we saying say ye ni nipa ewo krom ha? And we asking edie ni die na esie enti a anya baako anya mienu 7 executive management members edie na esie de na esi wo Ghana Gas wo then see. And now, 7 executive management members, they are perceived MPP for now. I'm only asking questions. But in the coming days, I will be sharing with you a name be a ekoso ewo Ghana Gas ho. I will be sharing with you a name be a ekoso ewo Ghana Gas ho. When is the management going to act on the existing auditor's report, especially regarding the department in charge of procurement and contracts. Say, yeah, audit we are. Department biya would ye womu biya, ya de brow, ema unhunu, and yama akoso. And me wo the audit report for all the departments of Ghana Gas. But near course so procurement and contracts, our department was our logistics department. It was I say, when is the current management going to deal with this? But I know in the future we will bring those matters out. But the name is Busa. On what basis? And President Mahama or no naji 2 media ma NDC for Ghana for the 2 million mano. He is the executive president. We issue a green letter giving a directive to state-owned enterprises. Any abaya juma who do nyina say obi obekọ retirement bia yenya no kwan fefefe no wonko. Ne wakọ retirement nso a yama no contract no. Se ne contract ewu a obia ni wonu mo a wotumi so obe extend mo obia extend obia contract ma no. Eba ne say na Ghana Gas de omu ye biribi foforo. I want to know. I need to understand. And so I have given Ghana Gas the opportunity to officially respond. We have written to Ghana Gas, we have gone under the RTI, and we have asked the number of questions. One more the response in about follow up about to us, and we'll keep you in the loop. We'll share everything with you. Medical catcher say, Ejuma no enye MPP ni NDC asem e Ghana asem na ye ka no. E Ghana asem na ye ka no. Na say ye nyina ye minded by the fact to say Oman way needs to go through a reset. We need to reform this country and make it what it ought to be. There are things I have friend governance practices, good governance practices. Ebini said you adhere to directives. Nobody can tell me. Say, within Ghana Gas, you knew obi or competent enough. Say, you in charge of procurement anywhere. You knew obi manin shananai emanin yejuma. Procurement enye name procurement nye specialized food bi abeka say you need specialists bebre okrum ha ene procurement bu eye one course ankofo ye pa ankofo ye o masters wo mu ebi mu professionalizing ade. We have a law in this country and the laws must work. Law not set a retirement age. Aban bi no se o ukọ retirement kura na mehwe na hu hia me a mema 1 year contract. What send die no so aka ho. Wo wa adwuma mu na wo je wo salary, eje wo benefits nyina. Ukọ retirement ya ye ma contract yi. Bosumi bia ye tua 50,000 Ghana cedis a coins sanda so. You are entitled to whatever allowances are, I was say call leave, I was say call leave with pay. Even no what contract and or call leave with pay. You're saying 50,000 plus. Meanwhile, ni panoso or retirement inti ne benefits also a gym free senate and so obeji. Say di paneti ho. Emma near one call retirement. One more call retirement or more active service. Emu 7 ya be you omu nyina de free wo. See the omu call Ministry of Energy. Na se Ghana Gas for se Ministry of Energy here nipa. Na omu betimi abeji bi free Ghana Gas a. Se Ghana Gas for here nipa, omu ntimi nkoji bi free ministry fa me hwa na. Na den tu no bi akọ retirement. Ni ntimi nkofo obi free ministry ma me adwuma no. No da so te ho. Na ne wo active service no onu mom ye yi na free ho no mo. I want to understand this shake-up. And the energy minister would have to come clean. But we are waiting for Ghana Gas for response to our initial query. Oh, Kratanoko. And the here say, O Maturabana, Yahunu Niakoso. Na Niakanonso, Yaka Ede Achre Womo.
Okay.
Yahweh?
Yeah. My home. Na huye.
Oba diada Roma, me huye pa.
Oni diase mi nyen resume. Na me resume.
Be resume.
Ebi a investigations are ye wo Ghana Gas nsem ye. Ena ebetwemi ama bantem. Na Ghana Gas okọ wo mu aso ya. Na hwe se di omusi ebo omo ho samrane. De da wo mu ani so ne di ompeso mu ya.
EpaHoaDaben.
As a company no said the nyina enim no enye company wa zot ya se na omanya ye wo mu sesei se the air cost no ye anything to go by there na nyenka ni kwan se ne o retirement so a yehu se ya wote ha ye adwuma so ya se na nyeye tia esi wo Ghana Gas said the waka no midibuo be ma opa na mede ama Ghana Gas mpenifo and hope say omode responses ebeba nsema ye bisa e won krata no mu pepepe in a sense information a wo ho se sia na ekura ye ne de ye see ye pray ho de ato abontena na ya anti omu response will not be fair to them na de wo mu a eno de usan ho ka enye ye ni bia ena waka no se shake up bi koso na shake up no obi nsi Ghana Gas kwan se owoso omu ye shake up omu ye so tia se but said the muzi ye mu shake up no na ye hwe se akroma ya wosi hei wono ya te no kwakwa dada nso ye de no to enti ekoba ne saa
ya te ne kwakwa dada enso ye de ne to aba
enti ekoba ne saa na ama shake up no aye bibio aban nyuma de president mama betimi atam obi ad na free baabi amana kɔ baabi akɔyɛ adwuma sɛ de mampanyin pɛsɛ adwuma ne sikro enti na obetimi anya obi ebetimi ayi na free health ministry ye man so abi ane ade ne kɔ energy sector so tiase enti anka de mo bɛyɛ wɔ hɔ bɛma adwuma no nkɔso ne yɛhwɛ
pepepe
na report bi ɛwɔ wɔ hɔ any information bi akeka kansa ye twɛn ne ati omu response awie ansa na yɛn nsɛntwɔfo bi yɛ adwuma no de yes abeti wenum ni sa shake up wenum sa be kan ho de a na yam na da ade no ade na ekroso company back
EpaHoaDaben.
now akweza fe de ebinom baabi omuwom party omuwom
ade ne ya party nsem
ide ya party nsem enaba be kan nsem ni bi ho se yaw enamfo mu nye hwe ade yi se we were abadwuma bi mu a who say udie no kosi 4 years 4 years no so kra na yi wadi na enye yi a ye betimi atamodo akoto ba bia obi a oba no pe na se sabi na ekoso Ghana Gas de a ye de ho de unu company ni kra omu na ye Ghana for de a
se sabi na
ekoso de a Ghana for de a na mom de ye hunu wa kire na eno de o wa ho ba bia enwan ne de ye de beto abontra ba Ghana for na ma obi ka besi so se ene enu ntina se ne se ntina mo ye sa changes we a ene aye memprem ho nka se enu ntina mo ye sa memprem ho nka se you are attempting to protect somebody memprem ho nka se bia de mo ye nyina no eye se ya na anye se but de ewo mu ni se mo amunim findings bi wo mo amunim nipa bi ahodo bi wo a they are not supposed to be at where they are ti yakrata na be drum nsem yi de ya said de waka no ne kan no wait get your response na ewia ene na Ghana Gas Ghana Gas
Yeah, I mean,
because you're muscling that empire.
The pie then the better gas.
What you say? Yeah, man empire. Oh,
EpaHoaDaben.
Yeah, man, go ha.
there we are. Yeah,
Yeah, me.
yeah, yeah. O man edwuma. Yeah.
O man edwuma.
Yeah. O say edru ba bi no obi tumi di nsisi ne bo. No ye niema bi. E kire nkrofo e wo ban oman edwuma mu a. Chief Justice Mpani. Chief Justice. Do de no kra de. Ne nyame adom kra de asa apa ho na ugire ma apa ho. Extra time no apa ho.
EpaHoaDaben.
Wo de apa ho. So si la uji days. Eti we de yan twa response no enwan ye wi a ene be kire ba bi osusan e de body hu no be fada.
98.9 FM. EpaHoaDaben jumedie ni.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
EpaHoaDaben.
Say it again.
EpaHoaDaben.
EpaHoaDaben.
Now together, EpaHoaDaben.
Awesome.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
And so I knew that it was necessary that the issues being thrown around as petitions against me needed to get into the public space. I swore to a supplementary affidavit alerting the Supreme Court also of human rights violations that I had started encountering when I went to the Article 146 hearings. However, the members of the Supreme Court that heard the application refused my application for the hearing in open, and they also struck out the supplementary affidavit at the request of the Attorney General. I have decided to make this statement today because the violations have not stopped. Indeed, they have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible in justice delivery. These violations include the committee's refusal, in breach of the rules of natural justice, to recognize my lawyer on the first day of proceedings, simply because I was not personally present with him. And they went ahead to make arrangements for the hearing without involving my lawyer while he was sitting in front of them. The committee has also failed to indicate the specific charges that I'm supposed to be defending myself against in order to allow me to adequately prepare a defense to the charges. The committee has gone on to
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
98.9 FM EpaHoaDaben jumedie enie. We couldn't get to the portion the suspended Chief Justice eka se baby aye toto nano no ade a ekai no na yawo kese pa Edu Lodge. Na Edu Lodge no minim baby e wo poten yese wo Osu Castle Mpotemo ho minim se wo castle ho no mo ankasa de a but ehun abakosem party say because Chief Justice ne kasa mu no o ma yeti ase se eho e na wono mu a eku eye judges no omo kobo po no but in history is it really a fact ana opening kwaku dako ankra a oye historian wadwani me na awie e wa homa no so ma me no eni nkomo na omo ayen kakra na yensua de na yen check sa asemi mesankra ti me kan happy fm su ne EpaHoaDaben tie for da wase
yo mesume da wase
na awie ahoden wo ho de
yo ahoden wo papa
ye do bo ade ase minim se nura asemu a the suspended Chief Justice kan no what be first of all sa Edu Lodge no na bakwasem ye den facility ben ankasa na no krese eho na the planning of the murder of the judges no course one?
No question me say around that time no na edu lodge ni bia ni o.
Okay.
Only na a part of Osu.
Okay.
Na edu lodge no also we kai ni pa ya no de honorable BTK Edu, former MP of Okre.
Okay.
Oha.
Yeah, Ben.
No one aware around that area.
Okay.
Oha. Aha. And back in the day, no, they believe there. It is not something now I have to say government making in mind.
Okay.
What can you the next book and all the evidence from the committees of inquiry, including that by Azukrab. Now, said that there was certain element within the revolution. I know my imagine say, Judge Sibia, women do a massamama, woman we are cool before no. They have to eliminate them. So it was some personal grudges. Not so the funny be more ever. They want to exact that sort of retaliation against such judges for now. Yekuamono. And make allegations say maybe the former president and now the leader of the revolution or Kahuma but there was not direct evidence not LNK. Anybody can go for Azuka SIB, SIB report. Special independent board now, investigative board.
Okay.
That is something it did the SIB, Special Investigative Board, which was headed by Justice Azuka.
Okay.
No report what I say. Who went to Miswenya Yida now, who was also the chair of some of the committee, as well as Ejekum. Ejekum also has to work on it. And so there were a lot of issues. And I'm sorry, Yekuomo. Ebimusi Yabopono say, what kind of evidence really so I see if we can I confirm the quiet judges for the crown. You keep finishing and not do the table. So in those days, so there were a lot of evidences pointing from different angles.
So, not just say there are different accounts as to near course so pa Emma 3 judges in Iku.
Yeah, there are different accounts, and there is no specific one or two say. Osimesi way in America Johnny here. In America needs some few others when we Johnny fever and Sanka over the murder of the judge.
So now that I understand, sir, there are different accounts as to near course or no. Sir, and they would say about Penny to say the former the suspended Chief Justice. Eka say Edu Lodge ho enna planning ne course. For you as a historian, what would be your reaction to that statement?
He's taking one aspect of it.
Okay.
One aspect of it, they can ask him. But authentically, if you ask her to point the fact that one of them had idea now, you can say in some of the committee reports, some people said it was hard around that particular area.
In the Edu Lodge or around the Edu Lodge?
Where's Edu Lodge specifically now?
I am not sure, but I know, sir, the proceedings near Kosu within the precincts of the Osu Castle.
No, around that time, also we have revolution, and also our seat of president.
Yeah.
Presidency. Ordinary Osu until recently, Yebenya Jubilee House.
Yeah.
Back in the day, one can also be aware.
Sure.
And around Osu, there are a lot of soldiers back in the day are now almost around because of the security nature of our presidential house. The house.
Okay.
So some of those soldiers after the revolution, they hung up around that place. Not that apart from that area, what for direction? So I just who call Michelle company Teshi. And other. So that road is all the way to Osunimo. There were a lot of soldiers stationed around that time because of the revolution, where they were organizing the government.
Okay.
I got that point.
Sure.
So these murders occurred within the heat of the revolution afterwards.
Interesting. It appears to say Sa historic matter is almost also becoming a new political controversial topic. Me sure say because we heard the government respond to it and reject to the fact to say.
But it is not for me, Bibi.
Yes, sir.
We have studied this history for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
There's account, Communist Japan, Otiasi. You can interview him. Communist, for instance, believe family say the thing came from the presidency.
Okay.
That is why most of the people who were involved, there were people who were accusing Captain Kojotikata.
Mm-hmm.
For the murder itself, that he was the one who is the brain behind, and he has to go to court and all that about it. If you quite remember, it came to the National Reconciliation Committee to answer questions based on his complexity in the matter. If you quite remember,
I do. And last night I was reviewing some of the videos from the Reconciliation Committee. I watched that very portion.
Did you ever in any of the reconciliation issue? Committee chair for some of the investigations, who was the leading investigator? Did you ever heard him saying about Edu Lodge?
No, he never mentioned Edu Lodge.
Yes.
And to say, Edu Lodge, if we hear. Yes.
And see who to me too that BB we see me dying.
Brown.
Why in the Brown Lodge?
Enti na Edu Lodge na enye te say a hotel, a motel, and say a hospitality facility.
In those days, I can't say there's a lot, some facility in it. And then, yes, as if you friend Edu Lodge back in the day, the one who saw around that place is awake. Also, Ufa, ice cream cry, if anything. Frankie's. Now we are so it was now, it's around there.
Okay. So my question is enti Edu Lodge and then Edu Lodge because of the lodge that's no me am forced to say be na a hotel be enom kwotena se plan and say na e bia a hospitality facility be no honom kwotena but what say na a residential facility.
I am yes, I'm not aware back in the day.
Okay.
Edu Lodge was a leisure place or was a Obinifie. But for what I know in recent time is that it is a hotel facility now.
It's a hotel facility now.
Yeah.
And she says it's a honor ne here in Koso. Interesting. Very well. But when you now for you in today's context, Etel saying. Mr. Kanami Busa say when you now they share a net context in more. Let me busa say near air course in suspended Chief Justice Kenya there. If you contextualize it in today's time, sir, what would you say near Fansori so?
Makajo said a lot of people are making it look say this is the first time a process has been triggered, and I say CJB Administrative Chief Justice. In Chroma time, in fact, you go back to colonial days, another colonial administration. In even the governors have right to start charges.
Okay.
In 1863, with that Justice Smith, or Gold Coast lawyers, they are not smart. They didn't have even better legal education. Or because some criticizing, governor is hacking.
Okay.
In contemporary or post independence governance, 1960 Constitution, there was an amendment later. My president in the power to sack the Chief Justice. In 1963, after the Google bombing case, no. And Chroma, your friend is saying, say, Akukos, a first Ghanaian chief justice, so you need this. Overshare no kofa, justice, Aquadiado, Eba, 1966 school, no. So, almost we, your friend is saying, Sakura, the Edward Akufa, former president, Papa, Eba, CJ. And Sunday 69, elections, and Akufo-Addo Papa Baye, ceremonial president. And they appointed Justice Bannerman, Neil Ante Bannerman, and also Baye Chief Justice. I can't put you in 1972, no, on also Bannerman AD. And now Justice Adu Krab, Samuel Adu Krab, the Chief Justice. In 1978, referendum, no, yes or no, on the Unigolf. Now, Samia Azuka, unsupporting a champion side, no, a champion Saki, Azuka, no Papa Fred, Kwesi Apalu.
Okay.
Fred Kwesi Apalu, the idea, 1979. You got to a banal man, depending. The man also say, Apalu, on your objective. Or your bias because of his association and his manner of ruling.
Okay.
And to trigger the Parliament of Ghana, he ran a vote of no confidence. And also, to abandon the Chelsea, ye said, Christian Paluedi. Also, one and a makutu for, or the Attorney General Echo Court, or the court in a court in rule, yes, young to me, Apalu Edisa. No.
Okay.
And we need the independence and the of Chief Justice. Young Chief Justice and they are trigger the Constitution as constitutional action say.
So the last time the attempt was made to see a Chief Justice be a free or a Liman time.
Yes, 79-80.
But sa attempt no e failure because Supreme Court a ruling say intimi Chief Justice in sir.
Yes.
And enona ebema judiciary na na say Chief Justice enya that kind of independence and protection and ye kan wasemi.
Yes, for that ruling, no, the constitutional arrangement was made for protection of the Chief Justice. But on some of us society, if the fact that there's judicial independence and protection does not mean there must be no judicial accountability.
That's true.
There is a judicial accountability. The fact that you are protected doesn't mean you can corrupt your office, you can be biased and do things that are unconstitutional. So when you also, as a CJ, infringe on your own office codes and ethics and the way things ought to be done, then the constitutional means of also removing you must be triggered, which I think the president, this time around, the president in his own wisdom, so I trigger say, and for the petition, I say, say no why,
yeah,
say, you crew, what the committee, which is you, no Kwana will be with Mufambra, no Kwanima, or some Juma. I don't see anything wrong with this action.
Opening da kwan krameda wase na wie ne omre minim se wo kyera de na waje break akra de amaye nyame nhyira ye da se papa yenti bibia se besan ba ho bi mu wada ama. All right, kwaku da kon ankra historian na ene yeko history class ko he se ne ensemo a the Chief Justice the two dwanra no ye busa se sa na tia na no kra na it appears say from what the historian has said ni yentimi mfa yen sense sudua poten se ye hwe history book mo reports ahodo e course so a obi betimi aka no pefe se the planning of the murder of judges no e course so e wo Edu Lodge, and he has made references to reports ahodo committees ahodo and the fact that even near koba ye no kra no conflicting reports bebre e wo honomo. But what I have really learned anyway is the history behind or the history of removing chief justices from office. So niye hui enya de foforo because utresi it goes way back to when abrofonu edi so omo fi ase se omo pamu ye judges ni bi because omo ni omo enya adwene ewo omo rulings ahodo bi a omo ede eba eho na said etie no ensemo na eboboba me no kasai former president Anameboa, former president His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo or address your mind. Nanu be a small kind. Okay, we'll come back to this matter. Don't worry. We'll come back. Mame, just 1 minute. Something fluid is happening. My main details na yem rasisia.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Okay, so boys, girls, me move say mama mo badwuma. So ye di nkomo yi nyina no, me producers have been digging. Na yakopie video bi so. Sa video no mra na Nana Adonam Akufo-Addo te akonwa so as president. And as a video no ebeto your official video. President Akufo-Addo launched Edu Lodge. Na Emra all launch Edu Lodge no or can simbi. Yentie bi.
I'm happy to be here today to commission the renovated AL Edu Diplomatic Lodge, a facility that embodies the generosity, vision, and patriotism of one of Ghana's finest sons, Mr. Amishadai Larson Edu, A.L. Edu, as he was popularly known. Today, as we reflect on this exceptional project, we celebrate not only the physical edifice before us, but also the values and legacy of a man who dedicated his life to public service and diplomacy. Mr. A.L. Edu's contributions to Ghana and the international community serve as an enduring reminder of what one individual, guided by a sense of duty and love for his or her nation, can achieve. Mr. A.L. Edu was a trailblazer, a man who walked with humility and yet left indelible footprints. His service to the nation is a reflection of his belief that diplomacy is not just a profession, but also a calling to bridge divides, foster understanding, and create lasting change. His work reminds us all of the power of service, and his life is an example for this and future generations of Ghanaians to emulate. Ladies and gentlemen, this lodge is a gateway to possibilities. It has been designed to accommodate Ghanaian and foreign diplomats alike. Please excuse me.
EpaHoaDaben. EpaHoaDaben.
Save the future of Ghana and indeed of the world. With its 15 presidential suites, advanced meeting facilities, and cutting-edge translation services, it stands as a beacon of Ghana's commitment to fostering collaboration and addressing global challenges. But beyond the bricks and mortar, this lodge carries a deeper significance. It is situated in an area rich with history and meaning. Nearby is the Osu Christiansborg Castle, which served as a fulcrum of Ghana's colonial struggle, and later for a time as the seat of national administration. Adjacent are landmarks like the Nationalism Park, where the events of the 28th February Crossroads shooting of 1948 that fueled our march toward independence are captured. The proposed Heroes Park, where historic Ghanaian personalities are to be immortalized, and the final resting places of two of our late leaders, Kwame Nkrumah and John Evans Atta Mills.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
You heard the voice of the immediate past president, Nana Adonam Akufo-Addo. Emra no te akonya so Edu Lodge. Eye Diana eye a former diplomat wasom Ghana kwan bebre so na ne dia no. Nemre so no omo renovate nan no. Ena omo launch nan no ye nan no say a diplomatic center. Ewo conference halls, ewo meeting rooms, ene ahode enema hodo a ewo ho. Today it stands for diplomacy, it stands for international relations, it stands for progress. It's an nipa na edan ne ye ne dia no na adwuma wɔyɛ no wasom Ghana ekwan bebre so. But I was listening carefully to former president, say the history of Edu Lodge, Obeka Bribi about the murder of the judges and the antecedents of PNDC in terms of a judge for Musanka, ebe piemu baby mpo a ben sa lodge, in anywhere. But it appears say ne kasemu and the history of Edu Lodge, Bribia sa ambemu. Among for a question the validity of the claimer, Chief Justice nra say Edu Lodge hona ye totuna no kind of yaw sane say ho ena wonomu a ebo po eku judges no honom kwotena se boss apo no and Edu Lodge it's a national edifice, a national facility a hosting conferences near the ade na you be fie but abeya o mind dia abanda da no esiesie ama enenkofo yusu ene ho nso na ban we yusu a ode etoto Chief Justice na no Samubeka there was I think a suggestion from the same Chief Justice Emra na asem no koso in fact or petition the Supreme Court to say my yenye na asem no in camera and right also per se eba bontene Supreme Court for ne na anya adwene one of the arguments or raising and say the Supreme Court or the judicial service as we see it now our conference rooms, conference facilities bebre Samobehe Edain Supreme Court, in fact, new court complex, no Musima or there are a lot of conference rooms. And she was asking, said, Adaina, Womo, any enquiry, no, any of the conference rooms were within the presence of the judiciary. Now, almost year free, what they court baby to say Edu Lodge. And she raised that concern. And Enra was said Timubium crab at Chirintia or what difficulties with Jumediene air coso ewo. But that history is being contested by some people, and people are divided over this. Fortunately, we've had a historian also telling us, and onu nimfa Edu Lodge no and somewhere a coso.
Yeah, Bibi, yeah, a woman abuse said the okay, no, man for a contest what the Chief Justice has said.
Yeah,
never been so hard. We can put it out there.
Sure.
And the Ukrainian said. Says I do lodge ya former President Akufo-Addo a commission ye. Ho and Chief Justice ya dene krono. Then it means that it is in good shape.
Okay.
Well furnished, well ventilated. Bibia okay.
Bibia okay.
Good. Anna dear a woman say and no since say it na kwa dungeon. Let's get that fact. But it is a facility that the state send America na madinka issue a caveat say a whole mum no way there said the team and penny voice there then it means that a bia or minor cra say sika ho at the ACAC inti we can assume say it is in good shape and we have not heard the Chief Justice say a honye ne hoye basa but she only has a problem with why a honor you didn't acco.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy, no say, hot to say, ni state need to say, and yama ben, then if you have references, say His Excellency the former president, a commission project, no, I'm a ne or come for, said the city noir. Not just say, we can only be sure, say, a good place for habitation.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And fair non to. And also, and defeat the fact say we ni ebu baby. I see edua ananse. Edie wu no.
Atena se
edie wu no.
Ntikuma
ntrasi ntunku. At some places ye ni pay. You don't wish to be there because of encounters be.
And you may be a sisi pain.
Yes. Some things a hobbit me a shirin. Yes, say penifo bu baby say asamado ayiwa emu hweren fe enso biemu a awre ho nko a enti the American kosie ne say yes ebetumi aba say yes ho kama pa a eho fe ba se wo yaw ne me Unim say sa bia we. Ebi kura na sebi. History may not be right. But that is what
ya
kachira ma wodi anyini.
Yeah, of course.
Da wutrim.
Sometimes no yeah.
Now the nam.
We're young, no
yes.
school.
And the place might be one of the finest places I will bet me ura. But the idea eura with trimamo when you bedroom ni dear. Ura ho. Yes, that uneasiness. You feel. And two things. I clear say Sabia ya mampanyinda da akufado a commission ye honet ya. And metimi ahomia ka se enye bia ehoye basabasa. Etosubio.
But ye bia nso a ebo Chief Justice ne nkaye bia
or no person as a person.
A kind yaw.
Yeah. Nti obetimi de obi akọ obi wo ha. Owo hotels akesi ebu okrom ha. Ebi an encounter bi watro note ato ho. Mana sefo ma obi ansi hoda. Obi wo ha. Or bibi eto no a obetimi aka kire se sa me hospital bi wo man mu a se me hu nipa enom tiwai na se yade achi obi aminim no na oye me den yemfa ho ne omu e bekwa akofo omu abegu meka se me yemfa ne nko ho because of personal experience so what you say enti yes ye betimi ehunu se de mampanyi commission ye no ne yaka se ebia na nya biafo again se de ye kan ye de ho niema nso beba na mum de she Chief Justice toko nutri mu de efa sa bia no ho de obi ntimi contest no let us be fair say adena chinchina achi sa bia no mpe ho because the woman is say and you think you betimi afa obi ye friend say you betimi afa obi ni aka cho say ahaya samampom na ewum yesi na mfesi ya enti usori a ahana wasem ye pese ye koka no when indeed that person so ebi kura sebi or you are allergic to tombs enti ya den na wo de na alcohol say and then she also made reference she said ye wo kan ansa na me ba mu say adentina other facilities ye even related to nadwuma awo ye me de no beka ho e related nadwuma awo yo anke kwa anya bia even feel at home ebi a wo de area bi kura fa hopping na yamfa nko ho eno enso eno woka odibisa the tosu bi oni say apart from body search I was say yedene fair mu a
ye man use ni mobile phone ye man fa ne laptop nkomu ene no lawyers nyina
ekwan a yemfa Chief Justice bi amfa so ewo wiase mu nyina bi da for a Chief Justice to be subjected to that kind of body search no ebi ni ho they enjoy certain privileges enti ekoba ne say na ono okoye na yekoye ne sa is it true say other Chief Justices in the world say bibi say here because of their privileges ebi wo ha yen subject to omutu they will say ya subject to no ana again government communication omu na sansem ya no are they telling us say mame no on the all can say sa de no they should tell us say ya anya ne sa ana ye ne sa na ye ne sa emiti international standard ana emiti what you say because she also mentioned say
I think say what makes her allegation a bit worrying is up till now you shed anti-abine response to that particular allegation say you didn't for body search one in the lawyers but petitioners no more lawyers you for almost be anti response
yes and also area say as a Chief Justice
and one of the things I've been wondering is why would anybody court hearing decide to say may your body search? One, is it because you have a weapon biana? Two,
from a Chief
Justice. Say be a weapon mission who intina your body search and
And a recording device.
Yeah, body search because of public safety. So we call baby, we call hotel. It is because of public safety. Is the Chief Justice
a person?
Or you'll be a obetimi or your risk? I don't know if
to herself
and the public search and also almost yes searching because almost person has a camera session no and recording device be share no because a in camera hearing and say and somewhere because so ho no ebe pie free ho and unti no mo body search na
good one.
The third is it true say or no ne lawyers nko a
good
any search wo mo na petitioners no lawyers they are search na wo mo no de wo mo nye public safety creative problem bia na
these questions valid say over the last one I will be say now for the second one I will be say say safety to herself any other people are echo hono now the koto petitioners no so ni omun crofo no more there you know
allegedly.
Then Ebeba Bebisao, another question say, what do you fear from the Chief Justice? If you don't fear from the petitioners?
Senior Kanye no.
Say waka. Any response be ya. Enti mi bisa say ekoba ne sa say yes no. Onumpo she should have been given the privilege to walk through. Knowing a level, ba omen mu a ye nim ba bia wo si odie. So ti ase, ekinye bia ni ho.
Na committee members no so say chi o mana.
And no so no one can tell.
You see, say usuro say
obi mfa bibi nkwa abonten.
Free one mo nkwa abonten. It could come from anybody.
Every single soul.
Because obi our interest.
Exactly. And even the people who are going there to record.
Yeah.
And they say no, they yahuni and the Chief Justice aken. Se bibi eliki wo committee no proceedings more. The posturing of the committee is making us think say omu the best Chief Justice.
Na say am born search there na chese gadget no ho am man kwan into new he. Enti se bibi pie dia you can't blame her.
Die. Omu the best no free say. Onu no musuro no.
Na so abo me search.
Well, na about search no.
Abo me search na and the reason ti I was search me is say one person bibi e be free ha be pia bonten and no more me search no what satisfy who say me nkura bibi asa enti se bibi pia free wa wontimi hold me
enti and wontimi hold me no and you no na some against that of the committee,
but then the committee would have to come up with evidence just on no DPA
if we say can say committee no ntimi any evidence to show us say even the petitioners no call for an Chief Justice no yes achieve both sides. Enti bibi pia bontini sesia na committee ne beka say a Chief Justice will be forced to believe it even though ono ne search no.
And there is this angle I'm here quite worried about. Say minim say such committees na ya woman time kasa woman tie enchirichiri nsimu normally tie I mean to say
report no be batin
say asema akwakoto Supreme Court you may say everything about them but pastor mo be responding to you publicly the heading. But this is not a Supreme Court hearing.
Debbie.
Where a committee's hearing.
Debbie. Committee need to make your contempt.
Debbie.
Committee
way need the high powers, the powers of a high court. It needs high powers. Inti my expectation is that say committee no epese Ghana fonya omumujidie na omu integrity wasra. I don't expect to say
room should have been made for some of these things to come out.
But I'm sure, my point is that by now the committee should have issued a statement, responded to those matters, and clarified issues, especially with the search.
And I saw public domain, I check. There's not been any response.
It's even happened before Obeko Supreme Court. Sadia na linga sa the committee did not respond to it. Meaning the committee no more spokesperson there. But it is not good for the integrity of the committee, especially when Chief Justice now officially Ako Supreme Court casted doubt on the integrity of some of the members of the committee.
Yes.
It shouldn't have been allowed to go like that without a response. Because one case you search keke. Or send a mobile phone in a laptop plus in a lawyer's dear cry. Is this true? Will the committee come out to respond to this? Because at the end of the day, Yeah, freedom and justice.
And I want to ask.
Justice, Ansana onipa bi akoma beto ne yam so. Decision ya mateki etia me de ba mejitu na chese pepre ya akoso.
Pepe. And the other side, the omunya akwan de koi.
Yenim.
According to the Chief Justice,
yes, and the other side has also not come out to say
deny that there be a cry such a oh, yakra no yes, such a one casa. Any ho so. And I how me pese minya mindiebi. A judge for ne a lawyer for a woman ha. Edru maybe a omudi assembly any committee ni commissions no anamuntu obi webu ha they hold it in camera.
Yeah.
Say the me. Is it a practice? Is it a convention? Is it by law? Say obi wo ha oba in camera no yes say chene gene ho nyem nyina na.
We will need to find out.
Exactly. Lawyer for no ne ayi for na omo experiences ade ni bida aye bida because this one enye bibi fufuro bia.
Because honestly, in camera is in camera.
Yes.
Enye bedwam asetena.
There be.
And say asem na ye ka no hani pia bonte.
There be. And that one I'm sure say sitting no they swear to certain things.
Of course. I swear.
If you swear there now koliki bibia eba you be held in contempt with emra governs ade and enter sa. Enti na me bi say bio say sa nyemani bi esi o man bi pay. It's not the first time something is being held in camera. Ye kwa ye ji obi a ho niema ana procedure no ekre say you have been warned not to leak anything out and we are going to hold you as such. You are not to record, you are not to transfer or transmit anything from here. Inti ye tiasiesa eti o kwa ye do go through sa search no
to make sure say compromises ade na ya ka so no and I say account to trimunti no ye jao na you rely on your integrity so we be so
very good.
Yeah. And yeah, what time achieve there? Jump onto the phone lines. Get me a lawyer. When you
we need that. We need those lawyers. I mean, I call in camera hearing. Say respondents and the plaintiffs or whatever. Yeah, but almost search. Make sure say they have no recording devices apart from security checks near the
be producer. Thanks very much for that one. But government are responding to Sir Edu Lodge in Sanye. And let me just read. Or we have the audio. Let me just read the Honorable Kwacho Fusu response to Edu Lodge and Seminole, or say, and I quote, the attempt to link the dastardly killings of some Supreme Court judges and a military officer to this case is most disingenuous to begin with. This government and President Mahama have nothing to do with it. There is absolutely no nexus between the petition that has been brought and that unfortunate incident in our past. So any effort to link the two is regrettable and should not find space in this sort of discourse. It is most undesirable. It is most unacceptable. The decision to use that place was not that of government or President Mahama. The committee requested that they needed facilities of a certain status that would house their activities and facilitate a smooth running of the proceedings, and that facility was available, unquote.
Bibi, the first part.
Is
the first part in the dream.
Say the attempt to link the
Chief Justice never attempted to link the two. One Kase case has anything to do with the Lodge.
No, she did. She actually said the same. Or say the decision to use that place is to intimidate her. Or can say
no.
Or can say Oma question history. And na Oma hunu say or you're related to Obia Bibisa to no. And na Oma ko choose baby a Omo planning a dear no so Omo deba be intimidate no. Na Omo intimidate no so. Is that not a link she's trying to draw?
Hold on. But in that response, was it President Mahama has what?
It depends on which side.
Response no.
So response no dey what?
I think the second paragraph.
Okay. there is absolutely no nexus between the petition that has been brought and that unfortunate incident in our past.
Good. Good. The petition that is being brought and the unfortunate incident in the past. The Chief Justice didn't draw the petition in connection with the events in the past. She is only complaining of Adiano reminded the man. So, oh, kind of sa.
But some Justice say, "Oma choose what deliberately because of some past."
Yeah,
to hear the petition.
Yeah, but unknown words. The government communication kind say, "Oh, sa can be ma. What's it? There's absolutely there.
I say no nexus. I don't want to keep repeating.
The petition.
Yes.
The petition.
Any petition in the here or a do lodge.
You see, the decision to have the hearing there is different from the petition. The decision to house the Chief Justice there is different from the petition itself.
But where is the petition being heard?
The petition is being heard at a place Chief Justice is on. The petition, petition.
I mean, to Chief Justice. I mean, to Chief Justice. Maybe to help our conversation. I need to make the disclosure that at this point, let me start again. I need to make the disclosure at this point that the Edu Lodge facility that I am being tried in featured very prominently in the planning of the murder of the judges on June 30, 1982. What is she being tried in? Petition. Major Sam Akwa, the military officer who was killed with the 3 High Court judges, was my uncle and my guardian when I entered the University of Ghana in September 1980. I was also living with him at the time he was abducted and murdered. Was Edu Lodge chosen for this inquiry to make me feel insecure?
Question.
I think so.
Answer.
And I continue to hold the view that there is no reason to hold a quasi-judicial hearing behind the high walls of Edu Lodge.
Good. So it is a hearing. Not the
hearing of what?
But
and then you hear.
For government communication, so I say the petition hearing no. Another step out of the petition.
Kwachio Fosu addressed the number of things. The venue, the decision to choose the venue, the petition itself, and the things that we
said. The last bit of it, and I address the issue. No, but yes. I said the petition itself. You Kwachio Fosu didn't write the petition.
That's what I'm
No, but I'm saying, sir, to say the petition has nothing to do with the place. Means, sir, it appears that petition, it was done and calculated, say, in the eyes of the public, which you are denying.
But that is the point of the Chief Justice. That's the point of the Chief Justice.
He is only speaking why the place was chosen. And the decision to house the Chief Justice or to hold the meetings there, was basically the reserve of the committee. But to say petition, petition. Which petition? 3 petitions. We are talking about a hearing. Petition. 3 petitions. And petition now all refer to no. And one thing altogether. And then I lead it to anyone. And to who can catch a Chief Justice say, Mani, a honor, it has nothing to do with say Obipes will intimidate too. And you're nuntra. But look at the petition is the petition now, oh boss one there. Petitioner, and we have the petitioner. Government is not the petitioner. Government is not. And the government cannot answer. And in fact, the petitioner didn't tell where the hearing should be held. And then I make us say, on Timu because the petition has nothing to do with there be no suspicions, no can. And obisa question. Anyway, no.
But you are aware that the Chief Justice is trying to draw a link between Yesi Nano and then Yekoso Edu Lodge.
Petition na
ko. What 70 say?
Good. Petition need the ejina.
Petition no enko.
Yes, because the content of the petition has nothing to do with where it will be heard.
Okay, so what 70 petition enko. And a baby ayeti petition no.
Yes. NTA. Se me ma baha. Matro petition abrel. Say, adwuma. Eya na jimaima. opie koko gyina anim hɔ nti opie ko gyina anim hɔ a ɛba ɛha adwen so what you say me petition no die wo mu no so wo hia Jemima anim hɔ na ne na kasa no aka kyerɛ nse Jemima your friend is
yeah, what seven say me ba
aha will be let
me make this short time call.
What's that got to do
time call what seven say yemfa petition my against you CAU because of judges bi a mu
good
bye bye
enka ho
98.9 FM EpaHoaDaben dwumadi ni fa wadwen kyerɛ bra na fa beto sansem so na inti but you need to get me a lawyer to talk to on this matter of search and in-camera hearing and protocol ekoso during such moments. Jemima, you want to take me to my next interview? I'll be glad. Kwaku Morgan, ose non fankwa. Potassium one say Reynolds, please. Your argument is completely tangential. Okay. Kwaku Morgan being by say I just don't get where this man in black is driving his point. Please, please, please. Potassium one Abba CBB in camera has answered all your questions. You won't be allowed to enter an arena meant to be guarded by in camera. Pacho Potassium one you can't in camera. As a chane say adi aye no kuku mani bedwam. Why nye camera bobo why Mr. Wa na here no ati say sad mame. Now electricity tariffs have been increased by 2.45%. The PURC has given reasons in tia omatum, a cite exchange rate, a cite projected inflation figures, and what other parameters. Is there justification for sa increment ya na? Iba bedin komo bisisi ya.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Mamini, the director for Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSE, Enin Komo, Benjamin Insia, adjoining me. Mr. Insia, Tim can happy FM Sunni memoir.
Yeah, mania.
Na ewe boko de.
Yeah, media chain.
Tariff ya increase ya manfo adwa pa. Manfo adwa. In fact, tenra me boss so me wie ye course a menya ye people are trying to find out the entire PURC increase. Now me try say me explain here. Before no worse in terms of amount for reaction because almost say na dollar coffee when the ban is saying na yeto electricity tariffs mu. You have a better and deeper understanding of near a core into deciding tariffs are yempijemu. Near PURC a catch Ghana for the into my tariffs muno. More sem say muso museng.
Meda say
EpaHoaDaben.
Yeni kind na yenina ye yadrin any ensu ye nisanka enyamkania boss betty, especially in the third quarter of 2025. And we yensu ye ni say betty because one she did not appreciate it compared to the last time ye two enyamkania bomono by about 30%. Inflation are declining to 20% as used by PRC, but the current inflationary figure no krano 18 to almost 19%. And these are the main components. The set tariffs okoma. Yes, many PRC are doing say it the energy mix set it the price of natural gas and as a weighted average cost of natural gas as a nominated indicator and full cost recovery of the fuel cost on the price structure of the IPVs and also state-owned companies also generating power at the mine. But minia share the historical practice and sometimes the strength of the CD as well as the increment in fuel cost, that's the weighted average cost of gas, and no crano into ma in Namkania ebo and cost rosa. Because of the first quarter and second quarter tariff adjustment on where the actual adjustment on May is 6.2%. The entire year 14.75 is because of arrears. Na saa time no, na cedi no are depreciating. Saa time no na inflation ever higher. And saa time na also no, na weighted average cost of gas no, and also ever higher kakra compared to previous years. Aside that, na energy mix no so no, thermal kese say hydro when you compare that to the previous quarterly decision papers. And mostly they say thermal no kese say hydro na was a utia kese because hydro is quite cheaper compared to thermal production. But no, the PRC came out and gave us only 6.2%. So based on these factors, and they say a major component of price determinant in CD, and that be as that we don't pay cost reflective prices because sometimes CD need depreciate here. The cabigua anti abribiano was a cost reflective and then so in the third quarter, the strength of the CD has to make sure that prices no ever perform. But Bibi, that's why I say PURC at the 2.45% abetu so. Now 2.45% is not betu. There are major tariff divisions there. And we say engage stakeholders, but why engage? They have a different perspective. But we think that it is a major review because one, you are adding new items on the tariff decision paper without even consulting the consumer or other stakeholders in the space. One is that what is reserve capacity air count? Per the tariff review structure from 2022 to 2025, no reserve capacity in count.
Okay.
So if you are coming to add a reserve capacity, which is a new thing, you need to engage stakeholders. There will be a presented paper. They reserve capacity they count. So that's a buying the eco sign contract manebro so because the benchmark capacity is 18%. So because sign contract bro so na eco 40, na eco 44, just like what we did in 2015-2016.
Take or pay no.
And the consumer ne also tier 44%, We didn't state that in your tariff decision paper. The other one said reserve capacity. How much or what is the percentage of the reserve capacity that the consumer is paying for? There's lack of transparency there.
Na metwasia enema ye gina so e de review tariffs no. PURC for the ba ku bia ka ho a enka ho deda but wambo obi amane sa na pa kire.
Yes, no.
And no na friend no reserve capacity.
Capacity no. Wambo obi amane.
Reserve capacity no e ye de ade yankasa.
Reserve capacity ni say oman bia no e wo say o power generation no. Abribia no o dependable capacity no e wo reserve a enu si ho a say ba say machine bi say ana fidie bi etochima yebitimi atwe no dia besim. Ndi akwai ni say match ana footballer we can say substitute
reserve player.
So reserve player.
Into where backup.
A backup.
Okay.
And backup no the benchmark should be 18.
Okay.
There are certain times politicians may sign a contract manebro so Emma benchmark no echo 20%, 30%, even 44% as I've told you about 2015-2016. And many nan ejaka. And this is what the baby shemwa. It was only consumers may engage in who say young person politician be able to sign contract be obama rev margin up no I between but how much the consumer is expected to pay.
Not just say electricity bill na ye tua no ye tua bia ma generating capacity a ye use say si a ye de ato in case of any emergency.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And no so be a major tariff deficient because all they beka structure no enka ho dada. That is one. Now two.
Now enka ho dada no, is there any law cast in stone the variables ye de ejina soto tariffs mu ana ye wo mra bi a guide tariff adjustment say o person will introduce another variable it requires that you have that consultation.
Oh yes, okay, 538 of 1997.
Okay.
Even section 19, section 21, air corner, spell it out. Even section 22, council science spell it out. Indicators are yet the set tariff. And so also review any of these tariffs now. We review 5 years, 5 years.
Okay.
Or sometimes 3 years, 3 years. Within those 3-year period, it was so engaging stakeholders. Nobody to say within these 3 years, we and it be
okay.
This is this way Neshabua a costra adjust amana costro. Say go from swa adjust yes calculation na ebemana bafom mobia ho atono. Nemom said that you no person di bibia ka ho a e wo so ko consumer no. No be present papers. Never kwan pa wo de ka ho a and affect government and affect power producers. Na ensign affect
the consumer.
The consumer. We oman consult to be almost say it's part of their quarterly adjustment. But being part of the quarterly adjustment, you are introducing new items on the build-up without informing us. That is one. Now, two.
Yeah.
Almost 27% of fuel cost. Now, 27% of fuel cost, and also they could not tell us the amount of fuel or more procure into I was saying here say every 27%, and they go to mention heavy fuel oil, forgetting that in 2022, August, every year PURC for a major tariff review, heavy fuel oil was factored.
Okay.
In the pricing structure of electricity in Ghana.
Okay.
So when you say 27% of light crude oil, distillate oil, heavy fuel oil, whilst you have heavy fuel oil on the price build up already, it means that you own kind of correct.
Patch say a repetition. I say a
repetition.
Okay.
And the second part is that so catch and say 27% of fuel. How much is the fuel? Because yes, you need. So far, Energy Commission, they publish what we call the energy statistics.
Okay.
In 2021, Yanto fuel Bakumpu Ampham power plant.
2021.
Yes. In 2022, Yanto fuel Bakumpu Ampham power plant. It means that fuel procurement any stagnant, any fixed.
Okay.
It varies depending on the availability of natural gas.
Okay.
And now, cautiously, you can your price build up because any idea bribia auto. This was disruption in the inflows of natural gas.
Because your first choice in terms of your fuel mix, gas, and only you prefer first. And you say you're watching your gas once and your crude.
But light crude and I say
okay.
Distillate oil.
But say over currently situation your womb, the fact that fuel reservoir you want to power your generators and with all the maintenance works are near Kokosonia the idea. Are we not in that place? I was say you consider crude now you how I bit me a budget for.
We are not. You see, previous governments, may have their challenges with procuring some of these emergency fuels. But the reason why say a major challenge is that we don't mostly need them. So I don't even know why it became a noise platform within the media space. Oh, yeah, short of fuel, 3 days here, amma, you be kodum sumo. And yet, a bribia nebi here.
Sesi ameno kase ye the gas and the power yen thermal plants na say ye the crude na ye.
So far as say if there is transparency from the Ministry of Energy and PURC, so far as ye the timidie, any powered plant be an air natural gas.
Intia de intina. Okay, twaso.
Because I feel we know ye ni say wako the maintenance within the first quarter. You say Jubilee, the maintenance within the first quarter. yenim say year 9 ebe first maintenance in the last part of third quarter.
Okay.
Now I other maintenance in the middle part of the last quarter. And emu nyina no year 9 maintenance no e be my shortfall 102 million standard cubic feet of natural gas.
Okay.
And the Kesipan because the highest in the first quarter was around 50.
Mm.
And 50 we now over here heavy fuel oil to power maybe AXA energy or maybe get distillate oil to power some VRA plants.
Okay.
And the year fuel here, heavy fuel oil here for AXA no $33 million.
Okay.
And these have been projected for. So yenim we now the country and say 27% of fuel cost. What is the fuel cost? Because if you're able to tell us that thermal power and as a natural gas, the weighted average cost of natural gas is $7.71 per British thermal unit. Why are they not telling us the average cost of light crude oil, the average cost of heavy fuel oil, even though it shouldn't be part there because within the major tariff structure, it was featured as one of the fuels at the power plants. And distillate oil, why are they not telling us the cost? And why are we paying 27% of it?
What's saying the cost of natural gas? But fuel now, kind of say crude name, light crude near the idea now, account the went man chere a boa a daso, and so we say 27% of that, what they charge.
What they charge?
Okay.
Argentina all charging 27%. Because there's something new.
So your question is 27% of what?
Of what?
And you're clear.
Right. And you're clear. Now, the third part, which was even one of the things they did in the first and second quarter, and they said, almost say the fourth quarter and third quarter of 2024,
okay.
This can consumers clear. Minia. What they can buy, no, the account is a can the man in 14.75 in the first and second quarter of 2025.
Okay.
Like original into mono a 6.2.
Okay.
Naminia, sir, 14.75 no. Not dollar now, the 30 no, a 15 Ghana cedis, almost 70 pesos. Cedi no appreciate See, they not appreciating it. It means that the end user is paying 30% more because the city appreciated by 30%. So within the period now, strategies are tariff, the end user no pay 30% more than what they were expected to pay. And that also means that the discourse and government, look at discourse now, distribution companies, net for ECG, no money for so be. Abayin so enyam faso bebre. Say abayin nyam faso a who compute based on KPMG report of how much these discos are expected to make, and then less that by 30%. Meaning within the period, government has made more than 1 billion Ghana cedis from the Ghanaian electricity consumer. I mean, they are making more than 1 billion Ghana cedis. Not say ekadawa. Argentina undi free kano.
One fast 1 billion in Kotekano. No, as I pass my NCS into
ya. So this is if they are balanced in their approach, in their regulatory approach, there was some common cry, discourse no ye, and now ECG hold do Emma discourse no accountable. Presenting the windfalls or the gains they've realized as a result of the appreciation of the currency. Because if truly they were able to add arrears for the end user to pay from the utilities, why are they not telling us the windfalls that the utilities have made as a result of the city appreciation?
They also say, inflation projections are one year Oma Pijemu by 2.45%. This argument in it is saying
it is wrong argument. I don't think they said it. That be Oman Kaminia.
They projected because about 20-something% inflation, yes.
Minia, the first and second quarter tariff decision paper no, already 22%, 22.49.
Yeah.
And a 30 tariff. the second quarter, the third quarter tariff, no, only 20%. I think 20.69 or something. And already set it. So it means that inflation has declined.
Mm-hmm.
So if inflation is declining, why should I pay higher?
Because they say, sir, the adjustment takes into account a projected average inflation rate of 20.67%.
No, who gave them that projection? Because normally the practice of ECG is to use a current inflationary figure in certain prices.
Exactly, and it is 18.
And Kromha, the Ghana Statistical Service, the government themselves, Amayati say projecting a lower inflationary figure for the coming months. So if they are projecting a lower inflationary figure, why should PRC use a 20% to set tariff? So what actually they just did lacks transparency and lacks accountability, because they could not even tell us the windfall from these companies. The windfall from these companies, and no, everybody who they not told anybody. And and I think the PRC and government, because PRC directly falls under the presidency. Some of these decisions are taken because of the goodwill they've had from Ghanaians, or they are getting from Ghanaians. And because of that goodwill, the background of Ghana in country. But I think that what the Bibiba Ghana in country, let it make economic sense, let it make professional sense, let it make regulatory sense, and also let it make sense that Ghana in India or the Akumapa de Bitia. Because the one manner making that sense now, a lot of people evade it. When they evade it, and that is the practice, because we don't even explain some of these things to the Ghanaian and why Ghanaians should pay 2.5 when 2.45 when they know that the city has appreciated more than 30%.
We were supposed to bear Dumso levy bia nanka eba aban ne twesan ye ostensibly Dumso levy no eka eda ho no mo peso mo de kokotua. Do you get the sense say it's an indirect way aban ne addressing ne kano by so what this factors a basis in tia we increase tariffs no by 2.45%, because from the explanation you have given indicators and statistics and support an upward review. Do you get that sense to say aban fa kwan foforo so address energy sector Canada ho no with this ana?
So you tell Ghanaians the truth. What kind of credit Ghana for say minianum eka ewo no munyina momwa na yentimente kano unko fa kukuachi anase unchiche Ghana for some ko machimfa 2.45 in the kaho. No, that is not the best practice. It is a kind of person yet here. And I make a say that cannot no more cano because of this particular windfall. A bit what can be big. The 1 billion Ghana cedis now mono is at the lower end.
Okay.
If you look at the maximum end, we are talking in excess of 3 billion Ghana cedis.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought it was 1 billion flat.
No, 1 billion. No, your simulations was based on the lower boundary.
Okay.
The higher boundary, we are talking in excess of $3 billion windfall against that Faswa Bayanya. Even your one Faswi. Now, Obama consumer and end user not benefiting a crown. What's the main so? My sign to be account. And you are giving wrong justification, say reserve margin, without even telling the reserve margin. What is it? Give you now they are your friends. So ask them, the PRC people, what is the reserve margin in the new tariff structure?
Exactly. Now,
what is the cost of the fuel?
Cost of the fuel, very key. Now, Membusa, quarterly review, can we survive it? Every 3 months, CBI may review tariffs. And I mean, clearly the trajectory has shown, say, every 3 months, be a review, no super costro. Can Ghanaians survive a quarterly upward review of utility tariff?
That is not what the IMF means by quarterly review.
Okay.
IMF meaning of quarterly review is that it should reflect the current macroeconomic and market-driven indicators.
Okay.
If the market-driven indicators are favorable to the end user, let the utilities reduce their tariff. If the macroeconomic indicators are favorable to the end user, let the utilities reduce their tariffs. If they go other way, let the utilities increase their tariffs, and that is fair. In the quarterly, no, a bit sustain a bit depending on how the PURC regulates this particular market. So, or regulating market in a fair way will be any budget because a cost will not cast metia. But ever for no money from the benefit so that you know. Okay, a cost metia.
Metiase.
How metiase no metiamo. But what do you often say? I brief out the answer, me too, because IMFC too. That is wrong. That is not the definition or implication of say Yantu Eninam Kanya, Yantu Eninam Kamara, it is wrong. And I think that is the posture, that's the philosophy behind some of these price adjustments. Yemanen Kosro, because IMFC, Yemanen Kosro. That is not true. IMF Kasa because now you see the no you see the ana depreciating. IMF Kasa because now inflation are air Kosro. IMF Kasa because now your cost of natural gas and air Kosro. But fortunately for us, in 2025, all these indicators are declining in favor of the end user. So why do we still want to keep prices higher? Forgetting that prices no high. It is likely going to have an impact on your manufacturing sector, especially manufacturing sector or export to products. So or your manufacturing sector no export to product near city no appreciate the product near very expensive on the international market.
Yeah.
Into here cheaper electricity bit very competitive on the international market. What if you are also now assigned 2.45 and you don't have any justification? There's no justification. And because you think you have a goodwill. We as civil society organization will always correct government and put government on their toes. But be a any kasa and Troy. Obi bet me do a court. Court and no coach the 27% where what is the cost of that fuel? 27
maybe more civil society organizations I was some call beyond Kasani Achrono. Now fear say testimony on behalf of the people.
So maybe you are a lawyer. And remember, some say I contact you.
Patrobinian lawyer, Mr. Wana.
Okay.
Man correct. That do not require be sweet me. But Mami wrapping up the conversation and ask say. And I was going to ask the justification question, and I said there is no justification for a year near Air Causeway. But at the end of the day, how would this affect future adjustments in terms of Ghana for the way I am vulnerable, the way I am going forward? Are you seeing a society that is going to become throughout upward adjustments? It's as if say Ghana Hano, the word review only is a disadvantage for the ordinary Ghanaian, but it always favors abiding policymakers. Yeti review it means that I was say bibi kosoro, I was say bibi to the disadvantage of the ordinary Ghanaian. What do you see going forward in terms of tariff prices?
I think expect fourth quarter because third quarter and I think that it's good to hold this particular decision and engage stakeholders further. Normally, and even these days, they fail to even inform Ghanaians. They fail to even educate Ghanaians on why some of these decisions are made. Because I have not heard them on any platform to justify why they added some of the figures. Because they don't even understand why they added those figures. I think someone just pushed some figures for them to just add it on the tariff decision paper. But the Amihun is in the fourth quarter, they are likely going to increase in the fourth quarter again. Because the philosophy PURCD is that review means upward adjustment. And because they think review means upward adjustment, fourth quarter, so I don't because CDNO SRT a depreciating kakra. Today they use 10 Ghana cedis 30 pesos. And ebedu fourth quarter CDNO maybe Everything depreciated to maybe 11, and as be a 10 Ghana cedis, 80 pesos. I don't know to know you say no, they will increase electricity tariffs. Inflation bit go down, but they will not care because we book inflation go down, but still they are using it. And when you name we in the fourth quarter, they are likely going to say we are going to pay 30% or 50% of fuel, which we don't even know that particular fuel cost. They are likely going to say we are paying reserve margin of maybe 100%, which we don't even know that particular reserve margin. When you benchmark, when it's made true, it means that we are likely going to pay higher in the fourth quarter, and I think that will not help the Ghanaian end user. Meaning, the anchor was say ECG in future. They say, PRCA in future. They say, you see, when you take Sustainable Development Goal 7, it talks of affordability and reliability of power.
Yeah.
And on my piano, the butaya is in the issue. They say, Obama power is very affordable, very clean, and very reliable.
Yeah.
On my piano, said no, but you quite chroma. PRC benchmark, what said Yama discourse no, they are not meeting it. And I'm 32 for ECG. While the benchmark is around 21, that is what they must do as a regulator because that benchmark, they are losing $619 million. It's me top fuel. That is how much we are losing. But the PRC is not ready to correct that inefficiencies in the system. But Abribiano, they come to the end users and put a lot of things, prices for us to pay. And then the inefficiencies continue. So fourth quarter, it is likely going to go high because the philosophy, and they say, let's increase because IMF says we should increase. Now, the entire makers, and they say, last month, who engaged PRC or Facebook page, they asked some questions. They were running some survey. First question beside, and they said, do you want to pay more for reliable power? Do you want to pay less for unreliable power? Why should you spew questions that way when in other countries they are paying less for reliable power? So that is the philosophy.
Interesting one.
That's the philosophy of PRC. If you want reliable power, pay more. It doesn't make sense, economic sense, it doesn't make development sense. In terms of Sustainable Development Goal 7, it doesn't make that sense. So they must change.
Benjamin Insiameda was saying, "Anyway, any obre, ewo many meti for me. That's papa." Benjamin Insia, a director, Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSE.
Baby, when you say first, now you have been shut down politics. You see politics for no money or money and community. But namumu ebinumu sunti enyina ya ni agi say ebebo ama o man na akoso na ebo 1 o'clock pe na wa ye lawyer ama o man na lawyer for enyina pon akofia koda nyamishra
Ipa chome basisia
Charlie, I stress. Oh, senior, what be the issue? Bro, another one caught happening again. I nearly get them this time. Charlie, the over 1.5 messed me up. Oh, Charlie, sorry. But wait, you don't get refund for your loss? Nah, bro, that thing's have day. You hear so before? Yeah, soccer beds they do. Them they call them soccer chance. Ah, Charlie, you sure? Oh, but why I for lie you? Just make your stake on 10 plus games with odds of 1.30 or more. And when it's full, you will get your stake back times 3. Come see my bets. Hey, Charlie, this be interesting, oh. I know, right?
Soccer Chance rules are simple. Bet on any of your favorite soccer league games with odds of 1.30 and more. The total number of games should be 10 or more. Now here's the catch. Lose just one out of the many and you'll be rewarded 3 times your stake. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below the age of 18. Gaming can be addictive.
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. This advert is FDA approved.
Yemma wakwaba eba Eclipse Collateral Management. Ejima kwostron kwa yemma wenya wajapade nkrata ho mfaso. Wonim se wajapade nkrata ekuta wo no. Ebetumi asesa wo dache. Yesesa emfasode a ejapade wuranom etumi enya ewo no japade nkrata ho. Ene nyuma wuranom nso ebenya frɛ japade ahodo a yɛde si abowa ɛde apesika ɛde abɔ wo nnwuma ahodoɔ enti sɛ open prime brokerage collateral brokerage credit brokerage and land document perfection services a ma yɛmfa nyɔnko ɛwɔ Eclipse yɛwɔ prime depository platform bia ahobambo bomu a yɛade foforɔ a adwapade awuranom etumi de wɔn krata ɛkɔto hɔ na wɔnyɛ sika a esɛm bia ni ho na yɛde san krata yi ɛbɔ nnwumaku ahodoɔ a wɔpɛ besia de afiri sika korabea ho yɛbɔ bosia ho ano ho ba ɛbɔ ma nnwuma awuranom nyɛ sika de trɛ wɔ nnwuma mu yɛde bosia bɔ hwehwɛmu a emu dɔ na yɛ mapa ɛna si egyinaeɛ enti wonim sɛ wowɔ nsa a ahobambo bomu ɛntwentwɛn so hwehwɛ yɛn kyerɛ kwan ɛwɔ adentam barrier yɛbɛn Moses ayaresabea no ɛwɔ West Africa SHS afasio no nkyɛn pɛɛ frɛ yɛn sɛ si a 0543842466 wɔ Eclipse Collateral Management. For property owners we say think safety and decent income, and for businesses we say think funding before projects.
When I get home and want something quick to chop, everything there inside, groundnut milk and sugar. I only need some water, so kiss made easy. Kivo carry make Kivo carry for your office, boarding house. Kivo carry everything there inside, groundnut milk and sugar. I only
Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Mix. Soakings are easy. This outfit is FDA approved.
EpaHoaDaben.
Your property holds the power to transform your future. Welcome to Eclipse Collateral Management, the game changer in turning property documents into profits. We are not just another service. We are your partner in unlocking sustainable income and fueling business growth. With prime brokerage, collateral brokerage, credit brokerage, and land documents perfection, we are redefining what is possible for property owners and business owners alike. At Eclipse, we have built a primary depository platform, a secure, innovative space where property owners like you can lodge your documents and earn risk-free, sustainable income. For businesses struggling to secure funding, we provide collateral solutions you need to thrive and grow. Every move we make is backed by a rigorous credit appraisal process, so you know you are in safe hands. Find us at Adenta Barrier near Moses Hospital, beside the West African Senior High School wall. Call 054-383-2466 today. At Eclipse Collateral Management, for property owners, we say think safety and decent income, and for business owners, we say think funding before projects.
Oh, Charlie, me wanna mean na ya me ya. Oh, person ma poso. Se me be enko ye. Oh,
and yes, so Yom Herbal Lotion. Deals Generations Enterprise in Ediaba.
And tiene wo mu a. E ma ne bu achuma pa.
What ya ba mu awodin dura. E kuni pedia mu yaw kra na ye dru. Se entu unam yaw. Ene wa poso yare bia ase. What ya ne se obehie kakra gu nsem. Na wodi atwitwi wo hu na mani. Ene wa poso baby a eya we ya. Na mu no mu wa. Wo ba dwo. Ama yaw na ko. Na wo adwo se fom. Did I want to want some cry?
Wow, we just send it some.
And ye just have keko. As a sabrabon suma was sitting on koi ye. A brow bow de atra for. Na many be at over him. So open do it too. And now open so to be tongue. And now open contract sale dear. And your friend 024-473-0295 and 030-295-4146. And face will be biato and pharmacies near herbal shops. Yom Herbal Lotion. Life is possible. Edwin Yam mapping for FD at your getting gratuity at
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pɛ.
Welcome back. 98.9 FM EpaHoaDaben dwumadie enie na yɛhwɛ anim sɛ ɛyɛ mpanimfo ato nsa frɛ wɔ mo na omombra studio ni ene omuni nkomo beba bedro na ansa na no mame emfa wo enko eye e-productions asueye ena mekanfo ede amawo e-productions se bosumi a yewo mu yi a Father's Month. You see of Father's Day. But for us, a dear Father's Month, and a ye die. Bosumi ni nyina ye tu e de si ho a me frɛ ye celebrity fathers. I mean, ye celebrity fathers. Inti ejanom a mujitu musemu ye ejanom muntie we ye special offer na ye de abay na sa special offer available at Beach Resort. Onyame nhyira so El Chairmano kandi bomode ni nhia ewo fadama emra ye de Sala Fest Grand Finale no e dey asem na tumi na we a Grand Finale Finals and one up finals I don't need dey bro Unia media wo ho Well, let me come back to E Productions Father's Month promo na air cost one. E Productions is just think of the event. Just imagine the event. We will cover it for you. We will produce it for you. Maybe an episode chat TV commercial. New concept to be our team. If we understand your business, we can create a concept for you. Now a chance the amount. A year be I that when you may be a that when you here. Quality video production. E Productions is Sebra. Our equipment papa ni nyina bi and we have the men and the talent to deliver the best package. Maybe an episode recorded radio jingle. E Productions wa ho. Maybe an episode streaming with you be live. A product launch ana. A corporate event be ana. You need the services of a production company. We say we're here for you. Now, particularly this month of June, so packages no you're fine, they're attractive, and it meets your pocket. Because you see, at E Productions, we're happy to assist you in capturing special moments. And the stress is on within a friendly budget. Oh, it's a subutum. And your production, obey baby na usika nyina asan. So talk to E Productions today on 0242 755 323. 0242 755 323. Yeah, Ghana Health Service for a issue statement to be na yeni hun kobo kakra on the COVID-19 issue now Koso University of Ghana no. My friend Dr. Bequin Mamete asese owo meeting be na omo the statement to be ababontene. I was initially worried, say, University of Ghana on their own, so many COVID-19, INT, Ghana Health Service for and they are out with a statement. I'll bring you bits and pieces of that statement, you know. I say COVID is in the air, in reactivate the COVID protocols. Bonhombine, wash onsa, and then my bedroom, my infamous essential will be answer any one loaf, Bozana, Neko. Shikoko. Because unse, if you ask na ya wano, your free be reflex action. Obi o to be the session in Winimuna or Nigerian Kure needs to say baby and session and ya hygienic. O yin in sana no di chiao, pacho when ye misroa. I said EpaHoaDaben in Tiano when ye now we're COVID in Hokrana. You yourself no so to me born home by internet oba a happy FM ye main entrance. Veronica Aisi ho. And I wear a Jemima bucket. And I wear Joyce bucket. Veronica bucket, we specially designed. It's a new honomo with soap, running water, and a tissue. Obey media paper one, sir. We will encourage other facilities in so mobile and say beya yina yebeboy hoban. We don't want a resurgence of COVID-19 ability to another lockdown in Sunday money baby. People have still not recovered from the trauma they suffered COVID-19. No? There's a contact tracing Koso. University of Ghana is keeping tabs on that matter. I'll fill you in, don't worry. Senior see EpaHoaDaben, yeah, my name EpaHo. But me found code dia Sudia Herbal Clinic. I swear, yeah. West Africa, Henina. Woman na humu yadi nyina womo tene tekra. I'm telling you. But what you have been be your friend elekpekpe da. Elekpekpe. Sa haban no wono se obi atu eduro. Nti na yade ne hawa. Ana wakotie eduro bi so. Ana yade no yato no humu ne yade ama. I don't know how they sell, but humu market na we hin. Yesi etimi eto yade ma wo bi. Mini huhumani timi ni hu achinye but o condition bi a ususu se eye honhom ana spiritual yade bi na to so a na wakon enko de akọ hospital wafu ya yi pa nso ye twa scan na yesi bibia ya okay enso hu se bibi ne namoyem pa Alive soap affordable, Alive soap high quality, Alive soap perfect for everyday use. Your fragrances ahodo, your lemon fragrance, your coconut today, your aloe vera, and your the rose variant. Our shop will be PB na eto sebeya. Unipeduano ebeye kama na eniatie na unipeduano so etimi ahome kama pa. Na Ghana Health Service for a statement about beto abontene efa COVID-19 case in fact cases are University of Ghana for say womo ehuno. Na ohe Ghana Health Service for statement in that abontene na or say update on cases on COVID-19 in the University of Ghana, and I'll just take portions of it. Or say my main first situation in Ghana no indi kayansa. Or say in Ghana COVID-19 cases have been steadily declining for over a year. Nonetheless, surveillance continues nationwide through the Ghana Health Service and the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research as part of the National Influenza and COVID-19 Monitoring Program across all 16 regions. Now, recent developments in recent weeks, an uptick in COVID-19 cases has been observed, currently limited to the University of Ghana community. Ghana Health Service is actively collaborating with the university authorities to contain the outbreak and review measures in response to the evolving situation. The current cases are all mild with no admissions. However, if anyone experiences any of the following symptoms, including fever or chills, cough, sore throat, general bodily weakness, shortness and difficulty in breathing, loss of taste or smell, immediately report to the nearest hospital. And I'm sure say unim COVID-19 symptoms in nada. Intino ye no ono say yen sticky to protocols so you are aware, maintaining social distancing, wearing face masks, especially in closed or poorly ventilated areas, hand washing, any Ghana Health Service said COVID-19 situation here dey bia in fact above from nemo mu na yade omudi omani di akire enye wo mu nkono mo ye omo ne Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research ena monitor niam ani nyina na nansei no no kre se omahunu COVID-19 cases ni bi ewo University of Ghana community ni mu na cases na wo mahunu enye cases ano ohye ano odene a ede nkofo akoto ayaresabia o se cases wo mahunu no mild na kire se ewo form na wo mo ekire obi biada the fact se wo form no enkire se yenjeja ye ho na momu no obi biada wo behunu COVID-19 science bi te se wo bowa ne minimu ayekuro na nipadua ni nyina ye boho ne joints ye ne ya ohome a ensiso ohome kura wo bransa no ohome wo lose appetite ontimi ne hwene ntimi ntenka onte scent bi ontimi smell hwe ontimi perceive smell bia wono se ohu sa science ya bomoden tutumrika ne call ayadesabia ne call report. Mame kwa homa no so na me ne a former Director General Emma Ghana Health Service and former Presidential Advisor on Health Nkonkodi Nkomo Dr. Insia Asare na menje eye na dwenkyerɛ to sa new issue ya ababeto dwe dɔk kote men kan happy fm sunie memoadwo
mask na what to say
na me ado me ho ye dɔk patcho me din de Bismark Brown mask ye me producer
mask okay Bismark
yes sir
yeah
dɔk near Ghana Health Service the ababeto dwe confirming that indeed the University of Ghana for the buy any no cre name no enye so alarming there a mild cases ena aba eya one say COVID akwa form ma Ghana yenya cases bi until recently na yes antiti say some mild cases have been reported at our University of Ghana campus
because COVID on September I declare it's a new public health emergency of international interest somewhere in 2022 March you can say I need better say COVID Ghana to say bia obi wa pneumonia so be diarrhea infectious nema no sanity inti abaye e friend of brofum kofo bi enya bi na enye so severe to say the obinya na first no say e buy no na me ncha de itimi e wo kofo pi paneti e develop immunity omo nya bi no so omo develop omo national immunity na be koje even booster doses ni ade but then say COVID no kokora
okay
so say this Ghana health service for the DH omo ye be surveillance since COVID has seen no nya surveillance ni Inti say do baby na baby wo hodi hu se yare no kosora Ghana service for ba do boama ne na ye se obia ahwe no so yi na de wo mo ne se University of Ghana for te se wo monya wo mo de no kosoro ka bi wo monya cases wo kakra ti nuguchi so na eye o Ghana ha wo so any di akire se wo mo wo center bi wo ha wo mo hwe yare ko I te se fe no airborne diseases ni adenya no nti almost so ya no mahwe the important thing is say o be test no mahwe no my the sequence na hwe say any new variant bi na eba ni ana ihu no bi na new variant bi a ana o shi na eba tm dey say o mo say enye ade a ihu bi akase but the almost say also bi ahwe no see
okay
be a do no bi enya bi a obetim dia sao o hwe baby a University of Ghana o say no nipa no on dos class lecture room ni manema
yeah
one hwe nipa ko ko obinya bi no no ne dia entimi no ba bia no akokora abrewa ne wo ne suwa bi wo fia ono ewo ye fe na underlying illness so o amoja boroso a bia onya stroke o sikiri yade onya other diseases bia o scope o born homodin se bia be otimi asare yare sankofo ya no mu immunity no form kakra ti bia obi a immunity was so branti ababa wa no wo de wa hwe abanya cough kakra bi na anya hwe ti ono obenya no na be ho se muso na fe BBS empese yenya any COVID deaths bia bi mo Ghana me sure say baby a konkosi en baby a iguso a kokono sa na be inti Ghana SS for ya this about them o mu bokoko se be ya obi a be hwe so ye onya cough kitwa bi na okokuru mo na say ya no fa mask say mask no so obi a so ni signs and symptoms no ma sa bosu bi my fan say kokora enkoi enye hankwa wiase memu nyina wo say obi bo ho anese ekosoro kakra na me cha de enya hu baby a new variant bia e bo kwa na new variant ba eno na wa hwe a ko vaccines na ye wo ye ne bia nipa no e fe ni minute na wa ye ntini anso an tie mo mpa ye nyina ye moa na legon community no so moa na wo so make sure say education no be kofo na obi ahunu na obi ahwe no say we will say picture say by bi na social media say students most of them abobo mask ni ade mask bo nye dey na sanitizer tie mo modern ami ade ba ko a COVID ni twa mu a ijai mo nyina happy fm ye say mo ni ye sie ni ho a ye de hohoro ye sana ko se tata no
ye de esi ho fiti da University of Ghana statement ni ba ye no
asa fe musuru
obi asro wo
ti yenye sa na yanko bi ko anu mo mu de bo aga na pa won se tema ye COVID period se ko re ama
no correct
okay pa
okay
no we die huni ho ho yan sa ye bibia ija ye ho ko transfer wo nya ko onya fairness we chin salad go so ni ade you know no we die wa ho ne sakura no go so no diko ni e chia ti de masaka bi mu ne se on se sata no ayi ase ne enchia
no correct
ye bon comfort ni ne yi ase nya chia no ko yi ase chia no kra bo abushia for ne ni ayi chia ne nyina hai ti ka na na wo hujia na wo ko ti ne ma na wo ho ayi ne ye face nyina no yen ko ye sa bi
okay
se be ya ye ma no ko ba bi ne yen ko ye lockdown na yen ko fa yi ni magana
ekoba se new variant bi di anka be hadwene wo
a new variant as I feel new variant no in the free by year na DNA na your whole drew your home be a vaccine secure your home vaccine a betimi your vaccine or home timi so no buy a boy no buy and say na they say no good for any DH nyamen chade o timi be a fair no genomic sequencing and tini now and I go so what say about than a clear mono year be a fair national vaccine institute to manufacture especially almost any vaccine wa ti me sure say next time me no bit na yi ndro ni vaccines in our Ghana so that na covid kwa ya fofo bi ba so bi timi ya mo kapi afi ni ko hwe ndro ni ate timi na ya ne ma yi fi covid mo ba de ade ka sie pa yi fi covid mo a ye jai e kire de ne sabi ahonindi na obi enya bi a cold how obi tuna bo wa bi a trotro mo taxi mo no bo mask kama ye go so ye sa dem sanitizer hishi butumbi ese sanitizer kwa sa ne bo ayefo obi akora nto na no so kwa na bi da bag ti o so adi ma sa o chia obi se bi especially wo mo le go na di bi aye won sa kama so fan ko o na no na se bibi because Arabia one free I mean how many say one free and now walk of fire the free baby dia ko sign obi a o fi a no ko baby a
eno ni asem no
jam na mo ye no ni social events no so mo nteso
I'm say university in statement you know university in statement no ma kire mu protocols o mo de agu akwan mu ne restrictions ahodo a wo mo de aba but it appears say amanfo nso abohu kakra nti no ene nso masan de aba say amanfo ma ehu enwura wo mu
ma ehu pi nwura wo manfo but the truth is also ebo kakra man ko busuro kakra
okay
so the Ghana wa mo hu no wa hwe a yes mo hu bi ama so ya fa sa
ehu ana agensem
and the American university authorities no and making sure say maybe for the meantime no ko pa bra be ko for one so wo especially social events no ko for if possible Monka say yentu ya boa say or social events because say amarante maba ba multiple pe ni je party akwa jam ni ama nema diema and so couple because how will be easily because social distancing be any
yes
now be a sweat no be a sad will be a gineni tiati mo say tiati mpa
no correct
man on couple na outdoor
na until a year me who Ghana Health Service for statement now I quite worried because University of Ghana a public statement Bible say omohunu bibisa on the 23rd of June and then 26th of June and Sana Ghana Health Service a day one statement eba now I was quite worried internet crowd me frere Dr. Bequin hoping to talk to him say Edia na bentia up to now Ghana Health Service entom kana kwensi statement you know eba isn't it a bit of a problem say between 23rd from 23rd I just said 26th and Sana Ghana Health Service statement you know eba I don't know what you make of that. Is it a cause for worry?
Maybe it should have come a bit earlier, but don't say Ghana Health Service for only the Gucci for the area and the Gucci for also on Lagos. Years over year and over the university for them. But normally, what Ghana Health Service does is say they will have to make sure and confirm everything of Noguchi and Sana Omabaya announcement. Maybe you could have come maybe a day or two earlier, but I think it's never. But when it's not too late. But because already authorities now more investing for also the bad data. But Ghana Health Service for the general public so I are aware. Because we'll be all go on so be could as our weekend we know ya dream be a weekend you crowd coffee ako to name my minimum papa ne bush for could so asan over I know bidding commercial next time and man be faster and change what happened. I quite agree with you.
Now,
because once and the good year confirm, it means that they know.
Exactly.
We are on a report because I'm sure say University of Ghana for no tea because the Gucci force member they are said they are the same institution.
Can a papa mukrana or Sanka Ghana Health Service Decan Crans and University of Ghana Cradi on the Abbottabontin?
Ideally, yes. But the University of Ghana was being very proactive, which is very good because he commended.
Okay. Doc, Nanuyana, Musoria Abenia so na ene mamimbusa se COVID-19 could ye wo ya de san be CBM and answer ya de fufuru be infectious ebe hit Ghana. MPP aban muja yen saying na are we in a good place a ye betimi aso ano level of investment amoye ya ene bibi se sia ye betimi afoli on facilities bi so ne ade no ho amane e bot saying
Only say Ghana over the years, you are building your friend your public health systems. And yet the BMPP are buying over and over in building. In fact, we have one of the best public health systems in the African sub-region. In the Enontina, you are really bad to say COVID, CSM, cholera, and BBA bad. It is so anointed. It is a bomb by your COVID health, your public health system is robust. That is one. Two, from some of us here, a bad system in the march. The money a medical school in the 70s, Ever pay a medical school, a doctor near the in the number of hospitals near, with number of health professionals near, in the number of machines near, or 8 times you can CT scan, X-ray, in the sort of things that Ghana has done as a country to improve our health systems. Our country, we haven't reached where we are supposed to reach, but our health system has improved over my last maybe 45 years in the medical profession. It has improved quite significantly. It has improved quite significantly in the last few years, and especially public health systems. We have improved in such a way that first, you need intensive care unit. Say it will be Kakra almost be intensive care beds for almost every region. Obekaya and nam COVID in tea. And itimi a year nearby vaccine so that it will be sufficient in the vaccine sufficiency and also for health security. And yes, COVID in Kwa, but for even Kola more vaccines in your danger. Two, the ambulance system or country. I say a very formidable. Maybe we haven't reached where we are supposed to reach. I find a pre-hospital care. Just a COVID biobacaya. It means for if you have COVID, it's also it means diversify. Now it means be the come on now. And one district, one constituency, one ambulance. Also, ambulance is baby happy. It means ambulance system. Kurana. It means half a beer. Be a repair collect. You want to for near dinner. Third one, so they say you increase, as I said, your health professionals considerably. Say next for a train woman Ghana operating if I will be above the WHO yes, one next to about 500 population. Some of them are still at home. I also employ or say improve our private health systems. Now we compete with government because private hospitals are not great. Okay, third one, you improve what we call the health promotion and health education system. A part of the public health facility activities are also okay, doctors do also improve the necrosis. And therefore, I will be a medical school. So, I call here, yes, and come. I say, even two, I said, make us 3 private medical schools. In fact, 2 of them have started producing doctors.
Okay.
And I buy 5. You say, well, team produce pharmacy for a train or first University of current University of Science and Technology. But you say, I mean, Chad, there will be 5 all over in the public schools. I say in private schools, clear back on myself for one neighbor. I want to also it may be Kumasi Tamalini now. Nursing training schools is about 96 or so. The training, when I say, nurse for all sorts of specialties, including intensive care, critical care, training, and then the Akano. Your mental health services, I say, First, na mental health facility or country and a psychiatrist or country. No, we are better than 5B. And I mean, Chadi, Oko Confanachi, very saying, Colebua, almost training Colorado P, laboratory for Susa, laboratory for a boy treating near maybe quite a PhD. There were nurses for my MPhil, even PhD nursing near the to improving the system. Hospitals, Ubekaya, COVID by out of COVID, in a government car say, elsewhere government car say, per se, district be any hospital, be any hospital, and almighty, I would say the one of the most bold decisions by saying, yet, will be any hospital. So then, could see in a hospital, not only a hospital, but a hospital which is fit for purpose. In imagine the one by, so that we can get the from chip center to the sub-district level health centers in polyclinic. Then there should be a district hospital in every district for referrals. Then also the regions na Kenya as we know regional hospitals. So they are on a specialist referral center, some teaching hospitals number. These are things that government has put in place over the years, especially the last government I was part of it. We took those bold decisions, did emergency electronic medical record system so that you don't have to waste your time there to make sure, say, pharmacy for also produce more drugs near the improve Food and Drugs Authority is the best in Africa. I can just put my hand on my chest, say, no more, the maturity level 3. We produce the last maturity level 4, so that the year drug organa, the year vaccine organa, now almost register, no more release, it can be accepted by the whole world. Yes, I know. Offer apomodine say just a costa, we make a mistake. And COVID open our eyes. Say health is an investment, not only a cost. Do you health say investment, and then you can improve the health system. Tiana, my bumpire say, I buy be over take over be I will continue. Near funny panel more, near improve the system, I shall see and near move forward as a country. But we have done well over the past, I will say over the past about 40 years that I've known. Progressively, we're improving our health systems. Near Makuma, whom you know, is never to see. Say what a patient chatter, patient Tibia, or Kobe, be now a year. There are 4 areas that you can seek redress from the head of the place now, from the management of the hospital, from the region, from the Ghana Health Service itself, and the what we call regulatory bodies who are regulatory health professionals. Oh, be how which way we in a second of court. But the idea who said we need a better and go back to the regulatory body so that we make the put systems right. The idea is to increase the quality of care demand for near then health insurance community. Strengthen health insurance, make it easy for everybody, add more diseases to it. For example, about mono at the cancer disease and also cancer of the breast, it has certain we also say disease, the hydroxyurea the decrani almost 4 common mental health diseases. And so about the even chronic diseases. One of the bigger ones are here, renal disease, you can also dialysis, but maybe ubusamia because any dialysis in one here. In this amount of people do dialysis stage hop. In the health insurance worker say once a gun had a manantian about 1 year, I will be a medical checkup. In fact, I'm way. Do health insurance are not to hospital be so on your but it be a birthday. And I said the week of your birthday, and I said the month of your birthday, I said, I'll chill. Not checking with Janu BBA. To whom I know them and also I know them.
Now, Doc Mamimbusa, a day, call any government facility, so a thorough checkup or health insurance, the bit my cover testing.
As I know, that's what they were trying to do. Say, because there was actual studies being done. Okay. I believe at least the basic test. For example, you check your blood pressure, or check when you're about checking the or you're about or the 40 years, you can now checking what they are. So when you know the process, you check your man, you check your liver, you check your kidneys, maybe adeɛ no also ano ntem na hu ntem a na o say it say we do traffic lighting green but the green nkyerɛ sɛ nhwɛ ho so yi na wahwɛ ho so yi ɛyɛ orange a kyerɛ sɛ gyina kakra biribi wɔ hɔ ɛyɛ red so a wobɛhu ne ntem na wakɔ ntem na wakɔ so ano yɛde wakɔ ma specialist no wahwɛ but wanhwɛ yie ne yɛka sɛ yɛtɔ dialysis machines yɛyɛsi a yɛgyina baabi yɛgyina no a
but say be ya health insurance ni betimi cover extensively no is something I'm because some of these tests na ya ne boarding power.
Yeah, that is what some of us always say. Because the health insurance no oto nsuo kura health insurance me boy.
Pepe.
See timi enya sika ni na there was something like cap in the Ghana limited income economy afa ni ekoso nti timbia no taxes ni ade no ana ede but health insurance living alone no see timi di na ma health insurance for no sa na ma ade a wokan tibeti aye ho adwuma ko kwa oye basic test ni mu so say ye more test ani a so ma ko ye test na abai health insurance na fa because every health insurance for no because who yare den tema na fe na obi a onya chronic disease osumi bia na ko hospital no the bill say bro. But also I don't tell na after diabetes be has a crowd. I have one federal. Just dietitian for not to for the only any exercise near the. But what the diabetes no after na so pre-diabetes yes of federal bia. Or because of no federal I can born for. So after no be develop hypertension ya. Na se bia who in term now so I don't tell more help do of an kwa na born there na to go on federal. Na okoduru say ni na aka bo mu na so akonya kidney problem akonya liver problem akonya we kwala ni bi ho ide be wo mu enye wo fault na aka ni paka krea bi etindi wo koto saa ne man so na dialysis no so no wo ye dialysis no na wo prepare wo akoye kidney transplant it ye nina means you present it early, detect it, diagnose it early na fe what prepare no we are not going to kidney transplant. In Ghana, no, I feel any law be a back even woman and collect tested babies, no, IVF and the baby a friend of tissue and organ donation, storage and transplantation law, no. You to a policy to one across a ministry for the cabinet, the parliament near passing. For example, say Ghana haitimi a cornea transplant a woman near fretting who are DB.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what Ghana says.
Yeah, Colebuni confirm what chief voting here.
Oh, okay.
And the people was what the car. And for the year, Chilomudi, Nipanino, a cornea, no, a free. Fair is a man. I have quite a conquanabia. Will be out and Ubunian in the but then I bet me also how we are. When the crank attire and Yakatuan. It requires maybe Una Yamunimani Namon Fanto Bank when I'm on former Ubisum Radia. Yen Fesse, Amon may be a wound, Nadia. To open the operation now, about 60-70% of them, Ihuna for the first time.
I don't know when in a bit to answer who are now we are near to.
So we are near to.
What would I say?
So so what actually name at all? You will know how to extract what's inside. So would be we are those 2 bottom could be on accident. So it's funny a young for a donate you kidney near you. We also say the copper between us more a organ now there to say you better we do organ check copper bush and also be now obijina one or back mouth. But will be on accident in live and in a now what you say on accident as who put for money organ in an amofanye. Because who know when in Catacry, say, first, a baby shop 7 years when you back.
Yeah, the only glue crack at you know.
Aha, glue so because will be the honey near BNI or the catastrophe will be a young position. It will be for nothing at all, no one hear me. For nothing at all, no. Will be on skin, so also they are donating skin. Now will be on your bench near this will continue their career transplant is compatible. Into that law should be passed.
Okay. But we develop a bill no towards stage and son I'm sorry.
The policy is there, so it's supposed to go through cabinet and the parliament, and then I'm sure the select committee for the they were prepared about mobile pass. I'm sure I'm praying very hard. we will lobby some of the parliamentarians or more select committee. And I have any minister so everything come on. Any the war pumdin ya policy number na air can was a negating passes our law.
Because no Kenyan kabebwa pa because sebiemu uwu a wasei na se o nipadua na kwa bi wo ho ebetimi age obi nso nkwa a wo tworoto ho no mo na mre ne beso na yetimi yi a ebeje afoforo nso enkwa pa ba ye ni mre bia regulatory side ni ntina manfo nye na
ye ni mre bia nti untimi nka o kakura woni e bia wo support na wo yi kura he na adekoto o so onya be bia fair storage
I be preserve you
o Europe sia o mo ye the whole Europe ni nyina o mo Europe e de minim no na mo je me de nti obi wu a na se wo de na yi chaba won se wo mo ti yi akoma no heart no ifi bia France na eba
okay
de obi yi liver no fi e bia Belgium yen ye hospital na mo se ye de yi kidneys no I'm a joint transplantation explantation prayer and donation team. To what any Abajukwa ni afro. To we heart for the you the last. We are just a patient and no. Now ya kana ya pam bibiana na bosia for that question much. Inti eno na ebe say o si timi yesa. Yenya advocate. Yenya so for Muslim for me kan wa so dem na omo mo bia hu say una de we challenge say bia wi asese ya na wanya. Also we asese so apuro wi.
Yes, Debbie beba ma ye nyina ye be nyane. Nti e bia be nyane na wo nan ba ko ni ho because o de ache.
Yes, Debbie yes spirit in beba.
Exactly. Your physical body no. Exactly.
Spirit in beba.
Body need their pro.
Eti we dey me ma ka kire you for nyina. Ehun hia me pa. I'm going to be an advocate for it. Na yem pass na yenye education ni do obohunu say yen so specialist e wo Ghana hanu mo wo abroche nyina ba be operation because ye won ko for Ghana how betimi aye fa nema ye won ko for Ghana how betimi aye even kidney transplant ko for ba na o di bi nye bia na o ma ye amaye di nyina ko India na amanone so tie ye na first e betimi attract West African sub-region here because apomodin no sika wo health is wealth and there's said there's wealth in health. Because womo was say kwa brochi ko ye womo shape ni ade nyina no ni bi wa senka Nigeria fo nyara ba yi bi wa
ene no kure pa
ade America no nti da ko mo frame ya ma betana ho ma cha chire we nyina ya kama na yetimi aye advocacy na mo so ma boy ni push.
I was just coming to that say a noble cause nti when you are ready we are ready. Yebeboa na advocacy na kwanim because ade we ye tiase ya we ha nyina ye can be beneficiaries of sadie no akwanhia betimi atoa ma ye behia intentemu ya ase ye besesen bia wakoma na ye besesa o kidney na o liver enti etise ne wakoyi moja se ye mfanto ho no bi eho ka ye mfama no ebetimi aba besi wo akasa so eno na eba besa beje wo. Inti it's a noble cause. Inti doc, when you are ready, we are ready. We are ready when you are.
Okay. Inti mene mas with the hunko one mabana ebe chechiri wonafi.
Wadaroma.
Ya shesa crusade nasi.
Wadaroma.
So me damasi me tia da tifo nasi.
Yen so yeda wase papa pase akora eja o ahomegye mu so wagebre ne edi nkomo ewo COVID-19 and related matters ho. Happy FM ne tia for da sibebre.
Sure, thank you.
EpaHoaDaben ti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Dr. Insia Asare, a former Director General of Ghana Health Service and also a former presidential advisor on health. We've been talking about COVID-19 resurgence at our University of Ghana campus and the fact that we need to go back to the COVID protocols. Any TMA because Olan title certificate na udi edaso no. Obetimi de nyeska afibia. Ema kratane na ho na common ne o. We hear sky a project bi but Olan title certificate. But you only Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services in Nkomo. They have the keys and they'll show you the way. kwan bɛn na bɛfa so ama wo land title certificate anya aye sikade ama wo. It will work for you and you make money. Eclipse is on your munkasa no betro kwan no. Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services into prime brokerage, collateral brokerage, credit brokerage, and land document perfection. Maybe you don't have so much time. Enti ama or land wasase no document no. Ato sini. Won't mean nanti around enko office to office and perfect or land documenter. Jama Eclipse for will sort you out. At Eclipse, we have built a prime depository platform, a secure, innovative space where property owners like you can lodge your documents and earn a risk-free, sustainable income. For our property documents in Ibra, we have a prime depository platform. Baby, I a amount for documents a dimu. Edini nyina koguo. Na obi ehia de akwa je eye loan ye yi bi dia mani pano na wonso a wo document ni o ye odia no ya jiska ni bi dia ma wo. But we protect your document. In case of default, nipa na ntua loan na the bank will not go ahead so about beton your property because bank no ne Eclipse Collateral for agreement say se nipa no entua loan na document ni emfa Eclipse for no ebedi kan age nipa no kwakwaje loan no ohu nipa no kwakwaje loan no ombedi kan je ono ne document na sase ana property ankode ko a anso nti no enti omo be kwa koton wo no ne property no e de akwa kotu aka no wo de ne de eho son ompewe na peden. When Eclipse in Casa, omo a dental barrier near Medimoses Hospital beside the West Africa Senior High School wall. You want to call them on 054-383-2466. When I see me, Medina Bismark Brown, obey me and Fremi BB. Thanks for the pleasure of your company from 2 up until now. I will leave you in the able hands of the news team and they will walk you through the major news events of the day. Up next, Happy Kassier, Madam Timinase, Renaud Ajiman, aka The Mask, leading the production, supported by Joel Sanko, Jimaima, and then Joyce. Jimaima and Joyce, I need to get your surname soon. Also, yeah, then Jimaima Koko. Adato. I said, you say, Unim Bechawasu. Now, Joyce also said, name ye, Akumeniwa. Hey. But our Samu Mami Award, my team of voice through the glass. What I say? Mr. Headphones, so ask how I did it. Midibasi Adamado was say, and Nyami Adumochna will be here to wrap up the week. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Keep well, stay safe, and let's do this tomorrow once more.